Drivers, start your engines!
Be plenty of carnage, so full head on them, wound up. Yeehaw, boys. Holy. It's a junkyard. There's too much time hitting people. Chill a second. No gas, gotta hang off here. Don't overdrive. Just let me do my job. 10 times. I don't care if I wreck the whole field. I'm over him. He's just a moron. That was an absolute bullshit. Not clear. Awesome. I tell you, Mama ain't raising no. What the f*** are you doing out here? People are saying, just racing like idiots. I don't care. Just let me drive. What is he doing? This is embarrassing. What a clown show.
Did you ever think you would see that?
Hello. Did that just happen? Holy cow, baby, let's go!
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to NWP this week on DannyBTalks, joined alongside Eric Eastep and the Iceberg. Gentlemen, it is time for us to ride the Dente as we reflect on Carson Hocevar's very first NASCAR Cup Series victory at Talladega Super Speedway.
Drinks on you, Danny? Is that what I'm hearing? Said we're riding the Dente. I don't got any Dentes here. We passing Dentes out?
I don't have any.
I want a
Dente. I done finished my Kool-Aid that was in here.
I mean,
was it
the other
spiked
night?
at least? I mean, yeah.
The other night I wanted to get an Intimidente diecast and the website crashed.
I need to consider pre-ordering that one because it's definitely been a popular one, that's for sure, this week. Jarrett, you called this one after two back-to-back NWP pick wins for me. You got it this time with Carson Hocevar, and really a lot of our picks, as weird as they were, I think something happened to Eric Jones there at the end, but a lot of our picks were kind of there towards the end of this one.
Yeah, I think they all were for the most part. I think
except Brad.
Not mine.
well, he was still decent before.
He did. He got a lot of stage points. He was good, but Talladega gonna Talladega.
Every now and then we got to remind the world that we still do know wheel.
Yeah,
More or less.
but in wheel, I'm wondering. We'll see later on the show how points look, but I'm wondering, did it ruin your odds to tank for Watkins Glen and what you've been saying?
It might have. I know I performed, or my pick performed like capital A ass in the O'Reilly race, so that might have evened the score a little bit.
You can always just pick like Randy LaJoy to sweep the weekend, and then you can just get the clear tank.
I mean, we are heading to Texas. Truck pick right there.
Is he in the truck race?
Yeah, he is. I think he's full time in 81.
He's full time.
Oh, is he? I didn't know that.
Yeah, where's he at in points? Now I have to actually see where he's at in the points.
We can forgive you for not knowing that because
he is top 20 in points.
Good,
right?
For Chris Wright. Sorry,
he
Chris
is.
Wright fan.
He is beating two full-time drivers, Minnie Tyrell and Frankie Muniz.
Trucks have been off for a few weeks, so I've lost track. I apologize. Yeah, no, I am genuinely considering tanking this week for SVG at Watkins Glen. but we'll see. We'll see how things shake out. We got a long show before then.
That we do. So let's dive straight on into it. Let me scroll up here. Yeah, Carson Hocevar gets the win. Long time coming. The most insane victory celebration I think we will ever see for a first-time winner. Just lots of fought behind that one, probably been mulling over that one for a while. I don't think it's something he can do at every single win. We're not going to see it become the Carl Edwards doing a backflip every time or Kyle Busch doing a bow, but for the very first one, man, it was special.
It was badass. I mean, like that had so many different ways it could have went wrong. And at first I thought like, oh, he's got his foot stuck when he was trying to actually get it figured out. I'm like, why is he parking over there? And then I'm like, oh my God, he's going to run into the inside wall. And then the fact that he almost caught that beer that someone threw to him, I was like, if he did that, like that would be put on every compilation with Kevin James saying, gentlemen, start your engines at the start of it with like Pro America, rah, rah. That would be right there. And it still might, honestly.
Had he caught the beer, assuming he would have probably took a drink, I don't know how NASCAR would have felt about that, but
I mean, if the fans are going to throw it, you might as well make some use of it. Don't want to let it go to waste.
at first I thought, were people mad that he won, but it seemed like he was kind of like calling for that.
That's kind of what it looked like. I don't know. I mean, it was the full Carson Hocevar experience, a little impromptu, but very creative. A few moments where you're like, oh, what is he? Oh, I see the vision. That's kind of cool. That's fun. Like that was Carson Hocevar in a nutshell. That embodies his actual racing career up to this point flawlessly. But it was really cool. I'm glad to see a popular win because Talladega is such a big stage. It's arguably the second, third biggest race of the year outside of Daytona from a pure like hype and viewership and buzz perspective. So yeah, to see him, I mean, he's been so close in these races. I mean, he was second at Atlanta last year. He was leading the last lap of the Daytona 500 this year. He was second or first on the last lap at Atlanta again this year. He's been so close to winning one of these
top 10 in points legitimately.
I know, and he's been good everywhere. Like last year, there were some races in the middle of the summer he could have won if not for some car failures and situational mishaps. So he's been knocking on that door for over a year now. The super speedways always seem to be the most likely place for his first win to happen. And now that it's here, it does certainly feel like, hey, maybe the floodgates are open and he could get another one sooner rather than later. Because, yeah, if NASCAR can have a young star who's this engaged, this passionate about the sport, if they can get one of these guys winning regularly, winning consistently, that's obviously huge, not only for the driver in this case, but for the entire sport.
Well, and like, I have this car just sitting on my desk and him talking about his celebration. He actually had a video of it. He posted on his Instagram. He was at the 2014 Daytona 500. Dale Jr. in that race is like out the window and waving at the fans and stuff. And like his rationale that he was saying is that he doesn't know like whether or not the fans could see that you see them. And that's like, that is not something I think the average driver is thinking. That's something a diehard fan who, like I kind of said, I think in my video about him and on live stream, bleeds red, yellow, and blue NASCAR colors is thinking of. And yeah, I mean, he could win at any point, I would say, during the season. I think he's a better driver at this time this year than he was last year. Not even counting the super speedways. But I mean, you look last year, he ran up there with Denny and Kyle Larson at Bristol before his pit crew took him out of it. He blew an engine either leading or fighting for the lead of the Coke 600 last year. He was second at Nashville racing Denny Hamlin and chasing down Ryan Blaney. And he, due to partially strategy, but also speed, was running up front, leading at Michigan with 15 to go last year. So I could totally see him getting another win by the end of the year. I don't know if it's super realistic or not, but I could see it pretty easily.
I've seen some people make the comparisons. Oh, he reminds me of a young Dale Earnhardt, and I can see that to an extent. But who he really more reminds me of right now is like Casey Kane. Casey Kane come onto the scene and was making a lot of moves, a lot of big moments for himself. Granted, he started winning faster, but I would argue the equipment that Casey Kane had was, not. It was solid. It wasn't the greatest at the time. It's just kind of how I see Spire right now. And we're seeing Carson kind of, outperforming where we might see Spire at this point. Maybe he can, help elevate Spire in the same way I think Casey Kane helped elevate, Ray Abraham there for a little bit.
The hope is they keep getting better because, I mean, he just signed a long-term extension right before the season started. He gets along so well with Jeff Dickerson, who largely runs the show over there.
Yeah.
And this team, like, they've gotten better year after year after year. He said something on a show recently, I forget where he said it, that or maybe it was in his post-race press conference even, Carson said that, like, most of the guys on that team, on that 77, were there 3 or 4 years ago when they were damn near last in points with Ty Dillon. Like, the team is just getting better. They're bringing in new people. They're bringing in guys like Chris Gabehart, guys like Carson Hocevar. They're bringing in smart people, but they also just have the funding and the resources now to actually contend. Like, the era of it just being all Gibbs, Hendrick, and Penske is still true to a degree because the 2311s and the Spires have relationships with those teams. They share data with those teams, but we are seeing the satellite teams sort of surge this year. 2311 most notably with Tyler Reddick, but I could see Carson Hocevar and Spire being where 2311 is today in a year or two. And I hope that's the case, because Carson, if he's there for 4 or 5 years, I want them to get to the point where they are regularly battling for top fives with the top guys in the sport.
Let's not ignore that Daniel Suarez is 14th right now as his teammate, beating Joey Logano, Austin Cindric, Chase Briscoe, Ross Chastain, SVG, beating a lot of, what we consider to be better cars,
Well, and
so right
even compared to his team, though, I think he's overachieving so far. And granted, the win points will add a little bit to that this week, but he's 67 points over Daniel Suarez currently, and 113 over Michael McDowell. Like, that's a pretty sizable, that's a near full race gap over Suarez, and that's a race and a half over Michael McDowell so far, which I think we would think that'd probably be a little closer, especially with McDowell before the season. It's just night and day different. So he's been doing great. So just in the first 10 races, which is pretty good sample size, he's been doing really great.
Before we move on to the next topic of this race, I will just say I got a shout out to Alex Bowman, because I was really pulling for him to hopefully get a win there at the end with the weird season that he's had. But I can definitely ride with the Carson Hocevar first win. It was a good feeling no matter what this week.
I'm just happy that Bowman finished well. Like, the guy deserves it. He's been through just a terrible season so far. So even just a super speedway top 5, a pick me up, that's probably something the 48 team needs in general with it. But now there was the rest of a race to talk about.
Yeah, and let's start with this. The stages were set up differently than the past few super speedway races we've had. Gentlemen, what do we think of this? Eric, what's your thoughts on going longer in the front so we have shorter in the second half of this race, basically?
It's like eating your vegetables first, getting them out of the way so you can enjoy the rich, buttery steak at the end. I don't know. It was. I don't think it made it better. I'll be honest. I thought this was a worse race objectively than the Daytona 500 by a pretty wide margin. And Daytona was the more traditional save for 30 or 40 laps, then go hard for 20 laps. And I frankly enjoyed that as a viewing experience far more than I enjoyed the majority of this race. I appreciated that the Toyotas and the RCR guys and a couple stragglers tried to push the pace in stage 1. They tried something different to force everyone to make 2 stops. I appreciate them trying, but it failed miserably. Ultimately, it was the Fords who pitted once and saved the most fuel the whole time that made it to the end of the stage and won the stage. So, like, the guys who pushed hard were actively punished at the end of the stage for pushing hard. So it just sucked. It just, and they didn't even have it wasn't even 3 wide good eye candy like previous super speedways have been. It was 2 or 3 single car packs on separate ends of the racetrack. It wasn't fun. And it was so long. It was 98 laps. This is 100. That was almost 2/3 of the race were sort of just strategy, I guess. It was bad. It was really, really bad. I'm glad they were able to run hard the final 2 stages for the most part, but then just the aero deficiencies of this car reared their ugly head, and I didn't really enjoy that either. It was fun that Carson Hocevar won. That masked a lot of my disappointment that we had an exciting new winner, but the racing sucked. I'll just say it was one of my least favorite super speedway races ever. Probably second only to that 2018 Talladega race that Stuart Haas dominated.
I'm just reenacting the finish right now.
Yeah.
And when I say finish, I mean 38 laps.
Yeah, the final 45 minutes of the race.
It looked like every other Talladega race for the last 5 years. Like, you black out the cars and take out the scoring ticker. Could you tell me that race looked different than any other in the last 5 years outside of maybe there were less cars in the pack?
I don't know if maybe the team brought something a little bit better than they usually would have, but I mean, I took it as more of the field was so off the pace at the start that, no offense to the boy from Knoxville, but Chad Fincham usually doesn't do well. He was up there leading laps, and I assume that has more to do with the field kind of holding their stuff back a little bit.
Yeah, and I'll admit I saw at least the vision in the way that the stage finished that NASCAR might have had. Like, hey, maybe if we have a longer run and they take different strategies, we'll spread them out, and then a lot of the guys will have to go harder or something, but to quote the great lyricist Thugnificent, that was booty butt cheeks. That was a terrible race. That was
What?
awful.
What a line.
It was
Ours.
awful. I have been, I think, more positive than people have expected from this season. I think I defended Darlington. I thought that Martinsville and Bristol were a little bit better, even if they weren't perfect. I am so sick, though, in general, of the racing with this car. I'm at my wit's end with it. And
Yeah, same.
Like, they have all this hype up for Talladega, man. And like, oh, it's going to be the biggest party and the biggest this and the biggest that. I mean, we got a big ass wreck. That was nice, I guess, in the marketing sense. But it like I said, it's the same thing every time. You could just edit that scene in Groundhog Day where the alarm goes off over and over and over again, and you just watch the same finishes. Talladega has gotten boringly predictable, and that is an achievement that this car has had.
It's the fact that, like, Carson winning this race is awesome, and he did make some nice moves, in those final 40 laps to hold on to that front row and keep that track position. Like, there was moments where Eric Jones got next to him, and it was like, oh, but he was able to side draft, get to us, and still make some moves. But ultimately, there was no like, wow, what a move by Carson to split the middle 3 wide. What a pass for the win. There really was no pass for the win that was memorable. He got the lead. He got that track position by lagging back in stage 2 and spending less time on pit road before stage 3. Like, that's how he got. I think he was 14th or 15th across the line in stage 2. Comes out 2nd or 3rd on the restart, or for the restart. Like, the pass for the win was spending 3 seconds in his pit box at the start of stage 3. That was the pass for the win. And it just sucks that that's how these races are. I think, like, the Daytona 500, in some ways, those 2 or a couple of wrecks on the last lap allowed them to actually race the final lap. Like, we did get Tyler Reddick with Herbst pushing, like, made a couple of like, whoa, passes for the win. So that looked great. But Daytona is the same problem. It's just, I'm with you, Jared. I'm kind of at my wit's end because I want to celebrate these, again, Daytona, Talladega, maybe the 2 biggest weekends of the year from a buzz and a publicity standpoint. And they feel like the 2, I hate to say that like this, but they feel like the 2 least legitimate races where I don't really feel like driver talent is making any real difference here. It's just, I don't know. The drivers are in such a box. They're so limited as to what they can do. And it didn't used to be, it's always a little bit been like that at super speedways, but it didn't used to be this bad. So I want to be able to celebrate these races and celebrate the winners as like true heroes. And it's hard for me to do that when I know that, you could put just about any NASCAR driver out front with track position at Daytona or Talladega and they'd hold it. You could take Chris Wright from the 81 truck, put him in the 45 Cup car, put him in out front at Daytona or Talladega. He could probably hold him off for 40 laps.
Yeah. And the frustrating part too is that we've seen this since the 2022 Daytona 500. We've seen this. There's been, if changes outside of flaps to the A posts, minimal changes for the most part to the super speedway cars. And that was more done everywhere. The fact that it's taken 5 years for NASCAR to start making some kind of change with this. I get the short tracks were a much more pressing issue, but still, like, these are the biggest races and they've been treated like an afterthought of, I feel like NASCAR's looked at it by their actions and just said, well, people tune in. It's Daytona and Talladega. And it's like, yeah, well, look in the ratings a little bit. Maybe it's not like that anymore. It just frustrates me.
And I just want to add, I was encouraged to hear Mike Ford on Hauler Talk this week say that, hey, like NASCAR's competition department is already looking into making changes to the super speedway cars, maybe even for later this season. Like, I appreciate that now finally there's a sense of urgency, a little too late in my opinion, but I'm glad that they're finally like, okay, we do need to change them. That's good. The reason I feel like I sound very negative, like very extremely negative about this race and to start the show, maybe more so than usual, is I think in the back of my mind, I heard Steve O'Donnell, and I have a lot of respect for Steve O'Donnell. I think there's a lot about his vision for the sport that aligns with mine. That's great. But on the teardown after the race, he was sort of like, yeah, we that's what we want to see in those final stages. And I'm like, maybe he's just kind of saying that. He didn't want to get into the details, but no, I don't want to see the stage 3 at Talladega repeat itself. That's not what I want to see. And I think most fans don't want to see it like that. Not the Hocevar part, the actual racing itself. We don't want to see races decided on pit road 40 laps.
What are we talking about? We got lead changes every lap all the way to the finish. Look how competitive it is.
So that's the stuff. That's why aggressive right now. Is I want to push back against that in case that's the line NASCAR is trying to go with internally.
Yeah, exactly.
We're smarter. Everyone watching is smarter than that.
And we've seen NASCAR make changes before. Granted, a long time ago, but 2000 Daytona 500 is widely known as one of the worst races NASCAR ever had. And the 2000 package before that, if you go back and watch those races, was not very good. The last super speedway of the year at Talladega, they put on the wicker bill. They had all these different aero changes, and the race ended up being a banger, and everyone remembers it both as an awesome race that did go green for a long time, so it wasn't just wreck filled. It's also Dale Earnhardt's last win. We've seen them do changes even smaller in 2013, and the Talladega race at the end of that year might not have had the best finish, but the race was pretty good. There's a history of doing this when the super speedway racing is not up to the standard, which I think is a very high standard and should be held there, that NASCAR has, because when at its best, super speedway racing is, in my opinion, the most exhilarating, fun sporting event you can ever watch. Like I don't know about you guys, but I got into NASCAR watching a Daytona 500, watching a super speedway race. And I'm sure a lot of people did as well, because these are the biggest races.
I mean,
it should be treated that way.
It's the easiest to want to take a stranger and say, this is NASCAR. And they actually seem to want to sit down and enjoy what they're watching. It's the one that if you play a NASCAR video game, it can be some of the most fun that you're going to have playing the game of any skill level. Like it is quintessential NASCAR is super speedway racing. As many times as we can say, I don't know if I want to keep doing this when a big wreck happens. You see other things like, this is it. This is NASCAR right here, and it's
unique to NASCAR.
It's such a chaotic evil that NASCAR has themselves in here.
It's like chaotic evil on the
like
chart.
that.
Yeah. No, it is. It's uniquely NASCAR. They don't do IndyCar doesn't do this. F1 doesn't do anything like this.
Right.
Supercars. Nobody else races Daytona and Talladega the way NASCAR do. But yeah, it leads to, like you're getting into there, Danny. It leads into moments like what happened on lap 116.
Yeah, well, and that's the package is exactly why we've seen this pretty damn often. It's like they can't get away from each other. They're all packed in, whether they're saving or trying to actually go. One car gets turned and it's on. And like it's, it sucks in the moment. I guess that's like the only unpredictable part of the race is who is involved. Not that it's going to happen. It's who is it going to happen to? Like that's about it.
In the case of this one, we had guys involved in this year's big one that were there contending for the win at the end of this race, because it was just that many cars that it couldn't eliminate them all, but they were still there.
Well, the important thing is if you're going to get contact in that big wreck, you want it to be like, first you want it to be minimal contact, and then you want it to be bumper to bumper. If you get hit in the door, start breaking toe links, that becomes the issue. But when it's bumper to bumper, these cars are pretty durable. And so you did see like a lot of guys just kind of pushed their way through that wreck, and you're like, oh, they're in it. They're out. And then they come out and you're like Tyler Reddick's car looked completely caved in on the front. He still finished 14th. He blew a tire again. He had 2 wrecks at the end of this race and still finished top 15.
Let's not forget Atlanta, he had a big chunk out of his car from something that happened, and he still won the race.
That's true. Maybe that's just a Tyler Reddick thing then. But like, I mean,
or connect set car thing.
Carson Hocevar was in the middle of the big one and somehow didn't hit anything. I went back when I was preparing for the film room this week. I'm like, where was Hocevar in that big wreck? He had to be close to it. I'm watching his in-car, and I'm like, no way he didn't hit anything. So then I went to like some of the guys behind, like Bowman was right behind him. Gilliland was right behind him. I went to their in-cars and they didn't hit it. Like, I'm just watching Hocevar just like skid through the smoke with not hitting anything. I'm like, that's luck. Some of it's luck. Some of it was thoughtful. Hey, stay high. They're more likely to wash down the banking as things change, but it was like, I can't believe he wasn't dinged in that crash to some extent. But obviously many others were. Did Bubba Wallace throw a block? What do you guys think?
No.
Would you define that move as a late block?
It was a bunch of momentum and he got hit.
Exactly. Where's he supposed to go? All 3, I think even 4 lanes were covered. He's got to go somewhere.
Have you been looking on Facebook lately or something?
That's why well, it's not even Facebook. I'm seeing him in my replies, and I know it's just trolls and haters and, but it is like, it's Facebook enough of them
to avoid for anything Bubba, period.
It's enough of them where I do feel the need to speak out definitively and say that is not a late block. Bubba Wallace did nothing there that you would watch and say, oh, that was a risky move. He got out, he got a push, got out in front a little too much. All the other lines had a run. He picked a lane, he committed to it, and then just, turn 3. We see it at Daytona, we see it at Talladega. That's a light part on the track, easy to turn someone, get him squirrely, and Bubba was already loose. So it just happens. That's racing. That's Talladega with this package, but I don't think anyone did anything blatantly wrong.
If you watch the replay too, though, when he goes backwards, that car wants to go up. Like the back wheels did get off the ground a bit and then went right back down. I did notice that in the crash, that because I guess we can kind of mold into this topic a little bit. Fox didn't talk really anything analytical at all. Like the entire day, it was basically Mike Joy making some kind of gaffe on somebody's name or some kind of fact. Kevin Harvick saying whoever's fast at the finish is going to win, and then Clint wanting to look on a Wendy's menu and then going to commercial every 5 laps.
And there were a lot of commercials. Yeah.
Well,
yeah, I didn't think Fox was great. I don't think Fox is ever very good at this point. It's just, and we talked on the show.
They're going to be in mid-season form for Fox. Truly, they really are in the middle of their part.
Shoot, this was supposed to be their big climax. They only have 2 races left.
No, but if you've heard, IndyCar is on Fox. The Indy 500. You should watch that in a few weeks.
Big.
I forget about these guys when we no longer have them and just watch IndyCar.
I have nothing against IndyCar. I'm just Fox. It's the same thing every week. And it's so formulaic at this point. It's just like we have to hit this box, then this box, then this box, then this, then this. Oh, crap. We didn't have a crash in the first stage. I guess we got to go to commercial now. Let's have it full screen over green flag racing. But you know what they want to see side by side? Them riding around for 5 laps under caution at Talladega. That's what they want to see.
Yeah, I don't know what in their contract, if it's a contractual thing that determines when those full screen breaks have to be, but they certainly chose poorly.
Well, they did address it.
I saw they addressed it later, but they didn't offer any clarification other than, we had agreement, we had to show this. But like to your point, shortly thereafter they were doing side by sides under caution. Like, why could we not have done full screen then? Anyway, but no, I think the biggest offense arguably was the big one happens. 26 cars wreck. They show one replay, and as the replay is winding down, they go to commercial. No further discussion yet. You have to wait 3 to 4 minutes, a few more Wendy's and Peroni's disease ads to actually know, hey, who started the wreck? Who got through it? What's the damage? I mean, I was sitting there on, I'm typing up notes, trying to note like who has the worst damage, who got like a piece of it. Cause I was watching, I'm like, I know there's still like 10 or 12 cars that were in it that are going to be fine, but I'm trying to like make a note of how bad was their contact. And I'm sitting there like, Fox isn't showing me anything here, man. Like I'm waiting, like the restart was finally happening. It was after the red flag, and I still felt like I had an incomplete list of information of what happened to everyone in that wreck. And that just, to me, the rush to commercial, it's all bad, dude. Fox is just so bad, dude. And I don't want to get off on a rant because we do this every week, but Boyer and Harvick have no business in a major league sports booth. Mike Joy's past his prime. Like, we can just say it. We can be honest about it now. Okay?
Yeah.
Like, they're not good. They're just not good at all. Compared to the CW on Saturdays, it's a joke. It's so
clean
awful.
slate. We need a clean slate with all. I mean, the part that honestly pissed me off the most was at the end of stage 1. The top 8 cross the line, and I'm trying to take notes of like who's finishing where in the stage. They show the battle for 9th, 10th, 11th in there,
and then cut away.
They cut away to show a car, and before those cars even hit the damn line, immediately it's a commercial. That was the point that I muted the broadcast on my TV and I booted up DD12 because I'm like, I'm done. I want to actually see what the hell is going on. And God, Prime can't get here soon enough. We're gonna go on a rant if we go any further. Prime can't get here soon enough is all I'm gonna say.
I just hope to God that Fox does not win that best live audio sports Emmy, because they don't deserve it. And if they win another sports Emmy, they're gonna hold it over everyone for the rest of time, and I will be very upset. They deserve absolutely zero accolades for their production, their Cup Series production this year. Not a single. I'm trying to think of one nice thing I could say about Fox, other than for the vast majority of races, they have done the side-by-side commercials, something that NBC and CW have already been doing, but it was nice of them to do it too. Okay. What's your one?
I like, because they're able to catch stuff quick and just go down the line. I do like the rapid fire post-race interviews where they interview like 4 or 5 drivers back to back to back to back. I like that.
No, they've done better with their post-race interviews. That's a good point. I like their pit reporters. I think Jamie Little's great on pit road. I think Josh Sims, when they I think they have a good pit road team. I think they're well-spoken, well-researched. I even think Josh Sims doing sort of the Chris Myers role in the pre-race from time to time has been okay. I think he's going to get more and more comfortable as he goes. I think some of that talent, that's some of that young talent that maybe we're looking at for the future. But that's about it. That's about where the compliments end.
I like that they got rid of the cartoons finally. That was a much needed thing.
Okay, there we go. Good.
More seriously, and they did do that.
All right, there we go. I'm glad we all found something nice to say about Fox. Yes.
Points time.
Tyler Reddick is your points leader right now. Denny Hamlin second, and everyone else is well, they might have more of a chance of resetting the chase.
I gotta say, I'm Christopher Bell and William Byron. It does surprise me they're that low in the standings.
Byron's been on a slump for a few weeks now. I know he masked some of the issues with the top
quietly in seventh, and now he's here.
Well, he finished like 7th or 8th at Kansas, I think, Kansas a couple weeks ago. But that was because they put tires on at the end and drove from like 17th to whatever it was in the final few laps. Before that, he was running outside the top 10. So that's. Bristol, they were bad. Talladega, that car was ugly as hell. I don't know what that paint scheme was. That was one of the worst paint schemes I've ever seen. Luckily, I didn't see that car near the front because I did not want to see that thing on my TV. It was that bad. But he was bad at Talladega. So, yeah, I mean, they've fallen outside the top 10. Hendrick only has 2 cars in the top 10 in points right now. So that's somewhat noteworthy, I'd say.
Gee, that is. We talked about Hocevar in 8th. That's exceeding expectations.
Clyde, considering he was second with his teammate for a while.
Yeah,
Bubba's another one. Yeah, for sure.
But like you said, Busch are up there. I will say you're starting to see, obviously first to second, but you're starting to see more separation a little bit, especially once you get lower in the top 16. But like Hamlin is starting to separate a bit from Blaney and Elliott and them around there. And there's a little bits of gaps. Like I think we're going to start seeing kind of fragmented point standings where it's like you got a kind of a cluster close together here and then a few down here, and that might be the battles that they end up watching. I hope they do watch these battles points wise once they get to like the USA races heading into Daytona, because I think the seeding for the chase is more important than who makes it at this point.
Ty Gibbs, once again, he didn't do good at Talladega. He's done good on every race. It's not a super speedway, but there he is in 5th. And at this point, I say the top 6 are championship contenders, the top 6 drivers right now.
Yeah, I think there's always, the opportunity for Bell and Byron to become part of that conversation as well. But obviously they're not there now. So,
I mean, 7th on back is 60 or more points, I believe, off the lead on the reset. So,
I think Tyler Reddick's got the number 1 seed almost locked up. Yeah, I think Denny Hamlin could obviously go on a run. Reddick could slump, but neither are really showing signs of. I mean, Hamlin's led a lot of laps, but Reddick's worst race here at Talladega, he still finished 14th. So I think the battle is to get into that top 2 or 3. Like, William Byron, or now what's a better example? Christopher Bell's 70, 80 points out of second. He's only 50 points out of third. Again, with the reset, you just need to be in that top 5. And I still think Bell, Byron, Bubba, I feel like Bubba is sort of teetering with disaster. I feel like he's on the verge of a downward spiral that will be difficult to pull out of.
I just, even if it's a super speedway or what, every time Bubba starts running well, and you're thinking like, man, maybe he as a driver has sort of turned a corner, or the team has either bad luck or bad decisions, just terrible setup car, whatever it might be. Something always happens, and he always ends up in that 9th to 14th range every time.
Yeah. And he's like had a different outlook over the last year or two, but I mean, you're seeing bits of frustration from Martinsville to, I felt like his interview at Talladega was very dejected, and I get it, but man, it's just tough. I'm sure he can't help but compare himself to his 5 race win teammate. And that's not good for anyone's mental health. Certainly not a professional athlete who has all that pressure on them every single week. So I hope he pulls out of it and can string together some good runs.
Yeah. But yeah, that's I guess it's
Andre
with the points.
Sondrick is 16th, but his name's spelled differently this week, Jarrett.
Yeah, I know. I misspelled his name. I'll have it as Condrick next week or Sondrick. But yeah, I mean, other than Priest plus 47, like it's really a battle from like 14th to, I will give SVG the minus 31. SVG has to perform well this week. He's 31 out, 19th in points. 2-team has looked better this year. Briscoe and that team generally are starting to look a bit better. He has to be within striking distance with Watkins Glen coming up. Like he's got, I feel like he has to gain points this week, and it's a wild card with Texas. I think he can. I gotta say, the one that's just been out to lunch or good and no in between is Joey Logano.
Yeah, that's what jumps out to me. The fact that he's 15th. He is now officially in the danger zone of missing the chase in an even year, which we didn't think was possible. Yeah, to your point, they are all or nothing. And unfortunately, lately, they've been nothing more than you'd like to say. Defending Texas winner. Texas is a weird track. I think there's been 9 different winners in the last 9 Texas races. So it's going to be tough to go back to back, but he's another guy that needs a solid day this weekend just to right the ship.
Absolutely.
So it is still close, like 8th to 27th in points. Hocevar to Kyle Busch are still technically within a race of the cut line. So I want to ask this kind of hypothetical now that we're 10 races in, we got an idea who's where. What 2 drivers do you think fall out, and what 2 would jump in of the ones on the screen, or anyone higher or lower?
Chastain could get in. Cindric could fall out. Suarez could fall out. SVG get in.
No Chase Briscoe. I think Briscoe's definitely getting in. That there's no chance Briscoe misses, I don't think.
Yeah, but I want to say that, but I mean, this does not seem like it seems like he is the JGR car that's off this year.
Yeah, I mean, I think they've just made mistakes. Like he blew through his pit box this weekend because when they don't make mistakes, he still runs top 5, top 10 most weeks. So I don't know. I think Briscoe will get in. I had Cindric missing at the start of the year. He's run better lately than I expected. So I feel like I almost wonder if Cindric has a better shot of getting in than Joey Logano. I don't know.
I mean, maybe.
I think I love the story for Suarez, the redemption arc. But I think he's probably in the most precarious spot of those guys on this graphic. So he probably is most likely to fall out, but we'll see.
For me, the most unsure for me still, as much as I do like how well he's done, is Suarez and Logano, just because that team can hit top 5 or hit 35. There's just no in between. And for me, it's Briscoe and SVG. If he can stay points wise within, he has to win all 3 road courses.
I agree.
We could not be counting out Joe Logano right now, though, because guys, it is an even year.
Yeah. But there's some precedent for this. It was a slightly different format, we know, but he did miss the chase in 2017. Like he got a win. It was encumbered, and then he didn't point enough. He didn't have enough points to point his way in. So like Joey's had. You're right. I'm sorry. You're right. But Joey is just weird. Joey is such an odd team to predict.
This system, I think the best Joey gets up to with his start and the way the rest of the competition is, like the best I think he can get to is like 10th at the start of it, which at that point I think is too far back.
I do think he's going to win a championship in this format. It's just not going to be this year.
I think Penske needs to adjust on strategy and just quite frankly speed outside of Blaney's team.
Yeah, what does the 12 have that the others do? I know, I mean, Blaney's had a couple of rough races recently too. Like he wasn't very good at Kansas either. But generally speaking, when the others are off, the 12 never is. Like the 12's always still on it. So I don't know how that keeps happening. How there's such a disparity there.
Well, let's talk about something there's not a disparity in, and that's TV ratings. So we actually have data that supports that.
Yeah, go for it.
Cup Series. We finished this race with a 2.11 rating and 3.967 million viewers, which is overall not bad. It's actually decent numbers, but it's actually down 3% and 2% respectively. The O'Reilly race had 1.339 million, which is actually up 6% year over year. That one peaked at 1.83 million viewers and was the 4th best race viewership in general on the CW ever. It was also the most watched 11th race of the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series season since 2016. Had to be very specific. It is most watched 11th race of the
I think
season.
that's a specific stat.
They put that PR spin out there, man.
But we care more about what you guys think, and that comes from the poll, the famous iceberg poll. 11,000 people voted for this week's poll. 30% people said it was a great race. 40% people said it was good, meaning 70% gave this a net positivity rating. 19% of people said it was an average Talladega race, and 11% said it was negative. It was the worst race they'd ever seen in their entire life, which feels kind of strong for a super speedway to have double-digit negative.
I'm surprised it was this high.
I'm the negative was this high, or the positivity was this
Positive.
high?
The positive.
Same. Now I feel even worse for being so negative out the gates of tonight's show. I didn't realize how many people really liked this race. Apparently, I do think Hocevar winning skews it. I think that's one of the biggest bumps we've seen in quite some time.
Good winner can save a bad race every time.
I think more people. I mean, there's a reason more people are talking about the celebration than how did you win on the last lap? Tell us about that move. Like nobody's asking that question because that didn't happen. The question is, how did you come up with that celebration? So that's all anyone remembers. And the celebration gets a 10 out of 10, no doubt.
Yeah.
The racing is like a 3 out of 10, in my opinion.
So this race was the 13th most positive out of 15 Talladega races polled. I believe last year's Dega race was a lot lower. I don't have the other one on hand, but I believe it was Bubba's first win, which
range shortened also.
Range shortened. It also, the time was a year after what had happened at Dega before. Like that one was always going to be voted low just because of the winner.
Well, that seems more accurate. If you told me it was 13th of the last 15 Talladega races, I might agree with you there. That sounds about right.
It is 6th of 11 for this year, for 2026.
Oh, that's way too high. There have not been 5 worse races this year.
No, and which is insane. Of super speedway races, it ranks 32nd of 39 polled super speedways. That does include Atlanta as well as Daytona, Talladega, like normal. So, compared to super speedway races and comparable races low, this year though, like I don't get that one. Top comment, first comment I should say, was from Spencer. Positive, negative, or meme?
Meme, and I'm gonna let Shug in.
This comment will be sent after this commercial break.
Meme, I got one right. Finally, Spencer, you and me, we're in sync. Spencer, I don't know if you're watching this. Heck yeah.
Top one, BKN, who said, shout out to Chad Fincham passing 35 plus cars and leading at the start of the race. Pretty awesome to see that from Garage 66. Bailey, Kyle Busch got a top 10. Hang the banner.
He did. Is it top 8 for free chicken tendies? What's the Cheddar's promotion?
He's got to win to get free chicken tenders.
Really? He got to win?
I thought they changed that.
No,
I thought it was lowered.
It was top 10, and you get like free chips and queso.
Okay, I'll take that. That's good too. That works.
Kyle says Hocevar's win and celebration definitely saved this race. So kind of what we were talking about before. Hamlin Fanatic 11 said, don't let the winner trick you into thinking this race wasn't atrocious.
Yep.
Thomas says, maybe it's because I've only really been into NASCAR for about 5 years, but this race didn't bother me. And a lot of races that seem to bother everyone else just don't bother me. Them honestly might be like perception of what you know versus like maybe what you don't know. I would say maybe that's it.
I respect not letting, buddy duddies like us rain on your parade. Like if you're unbothered by a race, just enjoy it, We're still going to moan and groan over here and ask for it to be better. So that's going to still happen. But like don't let us taint your view of
the races are meant for you to enjoy. We just talk about it.
So I respect that.
The gutter comment. So I look at the gutter comments usually like Monday morning, just when it's fresh before a bunch of people start getting their biases in, like when in heat of the moment.
Yeah.
Buddy of ours in the chat before, and someone I constantly text back and forth with, Elite Precision 29 was one of the gutter comments this week.
Oh, wow.
Which surprised me. He said, the hell are y'all smoking? This was far from a good race. Outside of Hocevar's dope-ass celebration, this race was garbage as hell.
See, that's the most reasonable take I've heard in years. Like,
Yeah,
put us all in the gutter then. All right.
Well, I was just amazed. Even the Gluck poll, which definitely skews more pessimistic than my poll does,
Yeah.
like even that one was like 55% were like, this was a good race. And all I'm thinking is like, are we just like voting off vibes rather than what we watched?
I think you're right. But hey, vibes are important. At the end of the day, when you're
True.
walking out of the racetrack, when you're turning off your TV, are you smiling? And I think almost everyone was smiling after Hocevar won. I think a lot of people were. So I think it is a little bit of just vibes. How are you feeling?
I was smiling after that burnout celebration. So
Exactly. So,
Well, that was the Cup race.
yeah, we had first time winners in every race this weekend. We had Carson, we had Corey Day, we also had Andy Jankowiak. I need to make sure I say that correctly.
Yep.
A lot of people were really hoping for Cleetus' first win, and it almost came too.
Well, and this is the first time that all three races in a weekend had a first time winner since 2021. Let me see if I can remember. So Bubba was the Cup one. Brandon Brown was the O'Reilly one. Do you remember the truck one? Because I didn't remember it when I brought it up on Sunday, and the chat had to remind me.
No, Spencer Boyd was a couple years before that.
Yeah, well, Spencer Boyd.
So who was 2021 truck? Oh, was it truck or yeah, it was truck. Right?
Truck. Yeah, that's the race.
Was it the Benedetto?
Nope. I think that was the next year.
Oh wait, it was a weird finish. Wait, it was a weird. There was like you're wrecking across the line. Oh, it was some guy who's like not even around anymore.
Oh, it was Tate Fogelman.
Tate Fogelman.
Correct.
We're playing the game. That's a point.
I could picture the incident, but I could not remember who was driving that truck.
That was the one where I came back and I told you guys after the race that the Talladega president came out in front of the grandstands and said, "That's what we want to see every race." And you guys looked at me dumbfounded, like, he did not say that? And I'm like, look it up, he did.
That's right. That was that race. Yeah,
that was wild. But
shout out
this
Tate
O'Reilly.
What is Tate Fogelman doing these days? Like,
I haven't seen him in a while.
Like, I know last I heard, like Quinn Half, he's driving a truck or something like that. I don't know what Fogelman's doing these days.
Well, I gotta say, this coming back to this year, that O'Reilly race was freaking awesome.
It was a great race. It was people love to say O'Reilly's the best show every weekend, and that's often true. But I think people honestly oversell the O'Reilly series a little. There've been some. I thought Stage 3 at Kansas was kind of a snoozer. But this was the best race of the weekend by far. The Talladega, man, was awesome start to finish. They single filed and rode around here and there, but by and large, man, they were throwing shots at each other, 3 wide, not much fuel saving. I mean, it was so much fun. And Corey Day, raise your hand if you thought Corey Day would get his first win at a super speedway. All the Kyle Larson comparisons. That's not Kyle Larson-esque. That is the antithesis of Kyle Larson's NASCAR career. But cool. It was really cool to see him get the win. He did a great job at the end there. And again, another guy, I think we can safely say it's going to be the first of at least several, I would argue, at least even before the end of this season.
Jarrett, you had how many for him this year?
2 or more.
Oh,
so I had made the prediction though that he'd have multiple wins. I want to say like right around the time he was having a gaffe a week and always like the center of attention for bad issues, which don't get me wrong, he deserved the criticism for, but has gotten better since then. I get Talladega is not going to be a litmus test on how good somebody is for a full season. But I mean, so far this year, he is 4th in the point standings. He is 4 points behind Jesse Love, within striking distance of Creed, tied with Creed and Allgaier for 9 top 10s on the year so far.
He has like an 8th place average finish. Like he's going to win another race this year,
and he's gonna get better. Like the Corey Day we're seeing the first 2 months of the season versus a Corey Day we're gonna see probably in late September to early November. I feel like he's gonna be a completely different driver. I mean, look at Connor Zilic last year. I'm not saying that Day's gonna hit that high, but Zilic did not set the world on fire the first 2 months of the year, even compared to Day.
Yeah. No, he turned it on after Talladega, really, or after Texas, after he got back from injury. So maybe this is the first of a stretch here for Corey Day. I do want to give credit though as well to Sheldon Creed, that bright yellow car. He was up front most of the race, made a couple nice moves. He was the guy to sort of shuffle Jesse Love out with a few laps to go. That was a big moment because Love, probably had the best car and was in control of that race. Sheldon Creed this year, he's second in points, a distant second to Justin Allgaier, but he's just every week I feel like he's in the mix. His teammate was also in the mix at Talladega. He got really spun himself on the final lap. Sam Mayer did when Sawalich made that move, and then Mayer kind of made a late block. I know he was really frustrated with the end result there, but I just wanted to give, mention the Haas cars, but especially Sheldon Creed, because, I think for a while there, we started to kind of wonder if he has it. We kind of forgot about him a little. It felt like he was maybe underachieving a little, bounced from big team to big team to big team. But this season, he's been dynamite, I would say. So, no, that was cool. It was fun to watch. Those final few laps were fun to watch.
That was an interesting fun fact you just put up there on screen there about Jason Kelsey. I'm assuming we'll see whatever this was in a week or so, whenever it's edited and put out there, I'm sure.
And to his credit, he actually participated. Like, he actually was passing the gas. He was holding the sign, grabbing the tires over the pit wall, which is not easy. I can just say,
if you didn't know who he is, he'd about blend in because he's built like a gas man for NASCAR.
Yep. Yeah. No, I thought that was funny.
But it's like, of all the celebrity appearances, like one that actually integrates themselves into it and you can tell was having the time of his life doing it. I think that's honestly really cool. What do you guys think of the whole blend line kind of, I don't want to say controversy, but just the penalties with it?
I didn't know that was going to be a point of emphasis coming in. It sounds like they had sent like a memo to all the teams and drivers during the week to say, hey, like, don't change lanes, to block getting up to speed, anything like that. But I know that's been a concern the past few years because it's been getting worse and worse, especially in Cup, where track position we know is so important after these pit cycles. So I get the call. Knowing that context, I think it's probably the right call. Someone has to be kind of made an example of. I thought Jesse Love, like, just the way he picked his way through there was insane, but it also just highlighted how badly it could have gone because Quapple, Allgaier, and I think there was a couple other cars in there too that I felt like also kind of shaded up more than they should have, but I don't know, maybe NASCAR viewed it differently. I don't know. I feel like they could have penalized like 3 guys instead of just the 2, but it sucked because I thought Quapple had one of the best cars and maybe would have won this race or had a shot at it if he was still up front at the end.
Yeah, I do agree. I think it was the right call. I've been pissy about that since like AJ Allmendinger did that, getting lapped in the 500 one year, where it's just, I don't like the idea of guys going 15, 20 miles an hour slower, going in front of the pack at those speeds, when any other time you look back at this kind of racing and those guys rightfully get out of the way, get on the apron, or just let the pack draft past them. So I hope that's kind of the way that they go from this point forward with that. I put it in here. We're 1/3 of the way through the season now for O'Reilly.
Wow.
Time flies fast.
When you're
points wise, I had the points on the bottom. I want him to make it because I really like him and he's been on the show a few times, but the split between JRM and Jordan Anderson for Raja, I feel like he's going to drop out the next week or two. Like, if he's not in that 88 car more, eesh.
Yeah. Who's more of the threat, Ryan Sieg or Sam Mayer here?
Brent Cruz.
I'm
going Brent.
I think Cruz is going to make it. Yeah, we'll see. I know Sam Mayer, man.
He may be a threat. Sam Mayer may be a threat at Texas this weekend. He's got a really good average finish here the last few years.
He should be a threat almost everywhere. I just don't know I need to watch them more closely to know what. I know he's been in a lot of incidents. I think he's got 2 or 3 DNFs this year, which is pretty high for being, he's on pace for like 8 or 9 for this season, which would be a lot. So he's just got to finish these races. You always forget how young he is. He's still only like 22 or 23. Jeez. Corey Day's 20, and we're always like, Corey Day's so young. It's like Sam Mayer is only 2 years older than him, but he's been around so long. I guess we just expect more from Mayer. But I don't know.
Trivia: what do Taylor Gray, Parker Retzlaff, William Sawalich, Raja Caruth, Ryan Sieg, and Sam Mayer have in common this year?
I don't know. They're all in the playoff bubble area. I don't
That
know.
is true too.
They haven't all won. I don't know.
One top 5. All of them have one top 5 on the year. And outside of Retzlaff with 5 top 10s, they all have 4 top 10s on the year. I mean, it's a statistical wash in a lot of ways.
And see, I guess, you just got to remind yourself, you're going to see more of that in a series like this that does get a lot of cup competitors that come into it and kind of take over the field a little bit. It's just so much harder to get good stats and be in the, the top part of the field because of how many guys that come in and the points don't matter for them.
Yeah.
That, and you get Allgaier, Love, Creed.
You're going to have your
Corey
consistent
Day.
ones.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like I feel like those guys, it's like every week they're in the top 5, and then throw in a Larson one week, maybe a whoever, a Denny Hamlin, another. Like those guys will show up and run top 5 too. But it's like the same. You can always rely on Justin Allgaier to be top 5. Doesn't matter where you're racing.
8 top 5s and 11 races this year. I mean,
there we go.
It's all there.
You mentioned ARCA. Do we want to touch on ARCA real quick? Cleetus second behind Andy J.
The Cleetus effect. Damn. I had his in-car up on my end, and I had taken a screenshot that went all over Twitter of like 100K watching. And it peaked at, I thought 112. It turned out like 113,000 watching his in-car, and he almost won the damn race, which I personally think kind of validates what we were saying on this show about a month or so ago.
We have been 100% right about Cleetus basically every single step of the way. I mean, we all said he could win this race, and he almost did. We also all said he was going to struggle at Rockingham in the O'Reilly car, and he did. Like, we know what we're talking about, and Cleetus is doing this. I mean, the way he's doing this is the right way, and it was fun to watch him almost win this thing, be in contention the whole way.
I mean, if he just wasn't as aggressive coming to the tri-oval on like getting into, was it Robusto he got into or Rogero? I don't remember who it was. Gustine.
That Dean's the guy who, for me. Yeah, there are a lot of white Toyotas.
Yeah, but I feel like if he just didn't really focus that much on Gus Dean as much as just getting there and using the side draft, he was great with the side draft. I noticed like he has that down. I think he wins that race. I think that was the only mistake he made all day, and it was just because he has an experience. It's not because he can't make it. I think you put him in that position 10 more times, he'll win 10 times because he'll know exactly what to do now. But I mean, ARCA was trending #1 in America with Cleetus McFarland. ARCA, I miss it. ARCA was trending #1 in America. When the hell do we ever talk about ARCA? Like even on this show?
Not often. No. And that's been our point. Again, I think we've all been right all along is it's more fun to watch Cleetus grow and develop in ARCA, go from running, 15th at first to running top 10 for a while, ran 4th at Rockingham in the East race, to now having a shot at the win at Talladega on a big stage. Like, trying to rush this guy into the O'Reilly series, it doesn't move the needle. But having him in ARCA out front at Talladega with a real shot to earn this win, like you said, #1 trending in the United States of America. I saw the ARCA ratings were over 100,000 more than previous years. That doesn't even include the 100,000 people watching his live stream. Like, this is what we want to see, him continue to develop, get better, and be in positions to actually win. Clutch moments where you got to make the right move at the right time. And to your point, he's going to make the right move next time. And that's because he learned in the ARCA car Saturday. So it was fun. It was a blast.
I saw Blue Jimmy in the chat here bringing up like about him going full time. And so I admit I have not watched his Bald Eagle podcast he does. I'm not, I don't know what Cleetus fans we call are called, but I'm probably not in that group. But he did say that
you can say you can't find time to watch everything motorsports during the week.
There are a lot of podcasts in the motorsports world right now.
But Blue Jimmy brings up that apparently he did say on it that he's considering full-time ARCA. I would love to see him give it a shot. I think like him for a full season, like we're talking about like the Corey Day progression. Now look at a guy who has not been in like even professional motorsports pipelines in that same way. And the progression from Daytona 2027 to, I don't know if like Toledo or Kansas is going to be their finale next year, what it's going to be, but I feel like that would be another really fun one to watch. And he would have content for like 20 races that he could put out.
And he could win the championship in ARCA.
Yeah.
Like, I think if he ran full time next year, keep in mind, folks, there's only like 4 or 5 competitive drivers that run all the races most years. He could, not saying he will, he'll be in contention. He could win the championship if he ran full ARCA next year in like a Rhett Jones car, something like he's in now. I'd love to see it. It is interesting though. And this is like, his plans have changed a lot over the last couple of years. And I don't know the guy personally. I don't watch every single one of his videos, but it went from he's friends with Greg Biffle. They're doing these great things in Tennessee and North Carolina, hurricane relief. I want to run the Daytona 500. Oh, you can't just do that. Okay, let's start an ARCA. I'll just run the super speedways. I love ARCA. Oh, how about O'Reilly? Oh, no, just kidding. Mace Leo, let's focus on ARCA, but we still really just want to run the super speedways. Oh, maybe a full year of ARCA. Whoa. Like the plans are changing a lot. I think the more Cleetus we get in NASCAR, the better. Obviously, the numbers show it. And if he's going to take things, there's a reason the traditional pipeline is the traditional pipelines because it usually works. Do some more ARCA, do a few truck starts, the occasional O'Reilly start here and there. He's going to get better. The learning curve is going to flatten out at some point, and he's going to really start to figure things out. Like, I'm excited. If he does a full year of ARCA, that's only what, like 20-something races, 22, 21 races. Out. Yeah, like it's a lot. But to your point, that could become his like 2027 content calendar is follow my stock car journey. I'm going to take it seriously, go as far as I can. That would be fun to watch. I'll tune in every week, no doubt.
Well, I feel like the more he understands like how difficult it is and like the mountain that this really is to conquer, the Everest to conquer, and the more that he succeeds, fails, like I feel like you can just see it in his face, like the more he's falling in love with actually like doing more of this, which again, you don't get to see that because it's such a unique situation. And I think also, and this will be my last point on all of this, I think that this weekend also proved who was talking seriously about the appeal, or not the appeal, the approval process and working your way up through the ranks, and who was just being a contrarian to be a contrarian. And you could kind of see, because to me, there was really nothing he did this weekend outside of, a little over aggressive at the run to the finish, which plenty of drivers do. Yes. There was nothing he really did wrong. He hit every mark he was supposed to hit all the way along that pipe. He missed it by that much. And plenty of drivers do that at Talladega. So attaboy.
He looked like he belonged. And if people are out there still saying he doesn't belong in race, it's like, no, he absolutely belongs in ARCA, always has, and will continue to. He's proving that time and time again. If you want to question moving him up the ranks too quick, that's still fair, I think. I think Rockingham and Daytona and the trucks prove that it is fair to question moving him up too quick. But as long as he's in ARCA, he's going to keep getting better, and he is going to win one of these drafting races at some point. It's only a matter of time.
Now listen, I know we're dominating a lot of the ARCA talking about Cleetus, rightfully so, but let's take a second to acknowledge who actually won the ARCA race. Andy J gets his first win. Dude's 38 years old. He is. I don't think there's any clear like, oh, I've got to get to the top of NASCAR. It seems like he's just in it for the love of the game too. Yeah. If you look up his racing reference, there's actually a photo of him. He almost seems like he embodies a little bit of the same spirit that Cleetus has a little bit. He's popped collar, zipped down, almost see chest hairs, yellow sunglasses on. He's sitting there like this. Like that is just like this is what ARCA is. This is a a journeyman ARCA guy. He doesn't run the full season every year. Yes, he does work in pizza delivery. I've heard that before too. He's just purely in it for the love of the game.
Well, and he's the guy they always edit into those memes of like, I'm going to hit the throttle until I see the finish line or I see God. And they always attribute it to Ross Chastain with the Hail Melon. Like, this is the guy. This is the guy. The guy with the cool ass bandana who looked at the stands like, why are you booing me? All I did was win.
Why are you booing me? I won.
Yeah, do not take your Cleetus emotions out on Andy J. He is also a gift to ARCA that needs to be appreciated.
That ARCA race from the middle of the race on, that was vintage classic ARCA. That was the ARCA I watched 20 years ago with my grandpa in the garage, where you had your crazy storylines with like the Cleetus side of it, your underdog winner. You had ARCA breaks, that one crash where the dude is just sliding there, or the driver sliding there, and then it was like
impact.
3 banana, 4 banana, 5 bananas, skirt. Like I had a blast Saturday.
With a mix of modern ARCA in there too. There's so many women racing in ARCA now, and you had Isabella Robusto like this close to getting her first win. Like that would have been a big story. I think she came across line maybe third or I guess fourth probably. Like there was veterans, young drivers, men, women, influencers. Like it was peak ARCA, man. So, like that's ARCA at its best, and it was a good time. So
yeah, but yeah, I think on that note though, we can finally move on a little bit, and I guess get into the first Super Chat stage break.
Sounds good.
And y'all have been very generous tonight. We greatly appreciate that. You never have to donate to this show, but we always do appreciate everyone for what you give back to us for just enjoying us talk about NASCAR. So that being said, let's get straight into it. Joshua Boston starting us off with a $20. Appreciate that. I'm honestly a bit surprised that Jimmy Johnson decided to use the 13 instead of the 84 for his final Cup start in a 2027 Daytona 500, but it makes sense if he is using it as a nod to his 13th Cup start and first Cup win. And we really haven't seen the number 13 used in a while, have we?
I think Chandler Smith used it in the to get into the 500, but last time it was like supposedly full time was with Jermaine.
Yeah, I guess Ty Dillon. Hunter Nixon, so incredibly gracious right here, man. Dropping a 200 on us tonight. 200, Hunter. You don't have to do that, but I do appreciate it, brother, as always. Hashtag respect the Dente, what Hunter says. And for 200, I will respect the Dente all season long. Spencer Purcell, appreciate you being a member of DannyB Superfans for 58 months. Can't believe it's already almost May. I know it. The best year for racing, the best year for my fishing. May is always a great month. Joshua Boston intensifies. Joshua Boston also bringing in a good 2-month member chat here. So who wins the 2026 Indianapolis 500 next month?
I have not paid any attention to testing, and I know it's too early. I'll go.
Oh, I don't know.
I feel like you got to go Polo or Pato at least for now, but there's plenty of time.
The local boy from here, I'm blanking on his name.
Newgarden.
Newgarden.
Yeah, he's from here.
Castro Neves, is he running it again this year? I think I saw it. I thought Leo's running it again.
I don't know if I could see him winning again, honestly, but
probably not. But he's won it 4 times. Anyway, no.
Joshua Boston again with a $10. Appreciate that. And I think NASCAR should try the short track package on super speedways. The lower the drag, the higher the reduction of fuel saving, and the more horsepower and speed we have, the better racing should be. I don't know about trying a short track package per se. I kind of get what you're saying.
You can't do 750 horsepower. I don't think that would. I don't know if that would work. I mean, you can.
But appreciate another $5 from you, Joshua. For Jarrett, I gave the race at Talladega 7.7 out of 10. Is that my lowest rating in the post-race streams super chat cooldown lap segment this season?
It might be. Someone's got to track that.
I mean, I would admit I have not been tracking, but you tend to get negative early in the race, I've noticed, and then you're like, well, actually, it's getting better and it's really good. So it's definitely one of the lower ones.
$10. Santa Claus says that Eric is technically now eligible for the nice list since the TV contract changed. However, Santa determines the term Eric, who is Santa, his hero. You have 3 guesses, otherwise back on the naughty list.
What?
Santa's hero? Rudolph. He saved hero? Christmas that one night. It's got to be Rudolph, right? I nailed it. First try.
When in doubt, guess the wife.
Oh, yeah.
Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah.
Barncat Mazak, appreciate it, $4.99. Hey, guys, had a nice weekend. Went to the draft and watched Hocevar win. All is good. That is awesome. Hope you had a good time. I went to the Titans draft party, actually. That was a good time. And likewise, he says, also, Danny, the Titans now have a 141 2/3 chance of winning the Super Bowl as they signed undrafted rookie Rex Steiner, son of Scott Steiner, cousin of Braun Breaker. Absolutely. Yep. Braun Breaker's cousin. And if you don't know, there's Steiner math. It's a whole wrestling thing. You need to understand. But I get what he's saying. The Fat Controller, $1.99. Discounted rides we're using. He stands with the playoffs. Hey, Mrs. Jar Jar Binks, good to see you. There's Herbert. Appreciate what
The
you're
whole
doing.
gang.
I guess.
Yep. Need to keep cup there. Palm Tree, appreciate the $2. Has anyone coined second place Sheldon Creed yet? Can't no more. He's won a race, so.
And he was
It just
third this
reset it.
weekend. Yeah.
Nick Foley, appreciate the $4.99. Yeah, I definitely overdid that Hocevar win. Let's go back to back so I can do it again. I did not. I did celebrate with Chili's for dinner that night. I did celebrate in
Same.
that way.
I got Chili's too.
Oh man, now I feel left out. I should have.
I didn't get a
should've got
Dente
triple
though.
dipper.
Calypso, say hello to your new CEO. I'll be sure to bring back 550 horsepower, reinstate the 2014 to 16 playoffs, and rig it to where the only winners are Logano and Cody Ware. We're going to do 3 more here before we end, because I'm pretty sure we're past time. Napa Racing fan, appreciate the $5. Stephen A. Smith, there are athletes who can drive, but a driver's not an athlete. Speed Podcast said it best. This guy has no clue about racing, and that's very much true. He even admitted he does not watch it. So for that, you throw out his opinion.
That's why we really didn't debate it. We talked about bigger issues around it.
It's just that he claims to be a top sports person, and it makes it seem like he has any leg to stand on. He doesn't in this case. So
NFL and NBA, that's what I've gathered he's good with.
Or he's playing. He's probably playing solitaire.
Soap operas.
Yeah, that's right. He was on General Hospital. I've seen the clips. It's not too bad.
Pac Mac, appreciate the $5. Welcome to the Chris Wright Talent Memorial Tour. Jarrett showed a picture. There it is. I am your official guide, Kyle Busch. I'm here looking for the talent I seem to have lost a bit ago. And Shavy, one last one for you, $4.99. Appreciate that. Honestly, didn't realize I was a Hocevar fan till the win. Being a Hamlin fan, I guess I root for polarizing drivers, good or bad. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Like a lot of people said, there are some similarities to a young Dale Earnhardt, and I can see why people say that. And we'll pick back up Logan King later on the show. But that being said, Jarrett, 2:30 a.m. the other day, we got a tornado warning. Do you remember that going off on our phone?
I didn't have my phone on me, so I missed the entire text thread. I was just like, oh, there's tornadoes going on. So I had I had my phone blaring music. I was listening to Pantera, watching the storm come in. I felt like a badass.
I fell asleep and then woke up to my phone. I walked outside because it wasn't even raining. I was looking around, and I could hear tornado sirens off in Davidson County, because we don't have them here in our county actually, but I could hear them the next county over. And then all of a sudden, I saw big bolt of lightning come in, and we're in the lightning round.
Yes, I needed to share this one. I'm sorry. This is how we're opening up the lightning round. That Ricky Bobby granny at Talladega stole the show for me.
She is a very famous social media person. Her and her grandson. I don't remember exactly their name. I've seen tons of videos from them before. So I can't wait to see whenever this eventually comes out.
I loved it. That was a blast to watch. It made the Michael Waltrip grid walk fun for me. And I'm not the biggest grid walk connoisseur, I will say. When it comes to the lightning round here, we do have, of course, the NWP channel. We are 49 subscribers away from 1K. We share every episode and collab with that channel as well as all of ours. So if you want to catch that, plus clips as well that we put up there, be sure to sub to that one. We can get across the finish line on it. Also, we're not going to probably review it by any means, but check out the ARCA Night in America broadcast at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. It's on the Tubi NASCAR channel at 9 p.m. Eastern time, part of a doubleheader of the East and West series. A friend of ours, friend of the show, John Ramos, is going to be pit reporting for NASCAR during that broadcast. So I want to give him a bit of a shout out on that one. A little more Cleetus talk too. Cleetus McFarland and Squirrel McNutt, which never gets old to say, are seeking sponsorship to run Talladega night schemes in 2027. which I guarantee you they're going to try and shake and bake at some point. Young's Motorsports also is being sued by JLB and Associates Inc. NASCAR never ends. It's never going to end. It's just going to keep going. Billable hours will be inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2028. And then next week, we're live on Eric's channel, May 6th at 8 p.m. Eastern time. We're already at May. But I think that will do it for the lightning round.
That will do it. And we can get straight on into some headlines. And we had a big one this week. Guys, Jim France stepped down as NASCAR CEO. There is no longer a France. There's a member of the France Kennedy family still involved, but there's no longer a France actively involved in NASCAR.
Well, not in the CEO everyday decision-making role. I mean, he's still chairman of the board. The board is made up of Jim, Lisa, and I don't know who else. I forget a lot of the names from the lawsuit. But yeah, no, big news. I mean, I think Jim France, we can say a lot of the same things about Jim we said about Steve Phelps. You know, he kind of took on this role at a time when, you know, Brian France just got arrested. I don't think he had the best reputation with many of the, you know, much of the garage. And so Jim coming in and being this sort of stabilizing, more calm, collected force, I think it was very good, you know, and he was in charge when COVID hit and helped kind of guide the sport through the pandemic. You know, so he did some good things, but I think the lawsuit last year, the failed charter negotiations and everything that stemmed from that, I think demonstrated just how unfit he was to still be in a everyday decision-making role. If I can be just blunt about it. I mean, I was in the courtroom when he was on the stand for, one evening, and then he was back on the stand the next morning, probably a couple hours total. And he just came off as, you know, like he didn't have answers to basic questions. I think it was pretty clear through all the evidence that he was very stubborn during those charter negotiations. Ultimately had to give the teams basically what they'd been asking for all along. But, you know, it took a 2-year-long tenuous lawsuit back and forth, hundreds of millions. He had to go. The end of his tenure was an objective failure. Like, he failed as the CEO that final year or two. And so they had to make a change. Like, Steve Phelps got the boot. He was sort of scapegoated, but I think it was pretty clear from anyone who paid attention to the lawsuit that it was Jim France making most of the decisions, and it was his decisions and his stubbornness that led to the 2311 front row thing going as far as it did and getting as ugly as it did. So, you know, he did some good things. He's a racer at heart, a lot of respect, but I think NASCAR is in better hands with other folks, some younger folks, some of the other, you know, the Ben Kennedys, the Steve O'Donnells of the world. I think they're in better hands with those guys being enabled to make more everyday decisions. I'm not saying they're going to make all the right decisions, but I think they're going to be more open and adaptable than Jim was at the end of his tenure. So, I mean, not saying it's a great move. I'm saying it's probably a good move, all things considered. It probably had to happen.
Well, I feel like they've been setting at least Steve O'Donnell up to be sort of that front man. Because again, with the France family still running things, Jim is still on, you know, as chairman, and Ben Kennedy, second in command, Lisa France Kennedy, plenty of power. The ownership is still purely within the France family. But I feel like they've been putting him out there a bit more. Like, remember last year when the playoff talk was getting really negative? There's a lot of barbs being thrown towards the France family, especially Jim, with the lawsuit coming up, especially towards October. And then Steve O'Donnell just starts popping onto like Dale Jr. Download and talking about, you know, being more kind of democratic towards the fan base of like, we hear you have a voice in this, a vote in it. And then he starts talking in front of more press conferences like that. And then they put him as the guy that's announcing the chase coming back. And he was really the guy that Adam Alexander was passing it to every time they had to ask something about it. So I don't know if it was the plan to do it right now. I feel like it's kind of the last 6 months or so kind of disgraced Jim France a little bit, or at least, you know, his perception. But I do feel like for the time being, this was set up. I just feel like he's being put there, one, to, of course, do this job, and because he loves the sport a lot. I also think in a lot of ways, this is sort of a 1-2 punch / mentoring of Ben Kennedy to get him ready. Cause I think that's the end goal, is that Ben Kennedy to be running this sport and 5 to 10 years, however long it is.
Yeah, I could agree with you there. I think Ben Kennedy is certainly like next in line, and he is part of the France family tree. Yeah, no, I agree. I do think one of Jim France's biggest shortcomings was the lack of transparency. He did virtually no media his entire tenure as CEO, as the head of the sport. And I think having someone like O'Donnell out there who can be a voice, a face that the fans recognize and the fans do feel heard, I think is good. I think they do need to be careful. I think what O'Donnell maybe needs to be careful with is making promises he can't keep, because the dirty little secret that's not really a secret is that the fans don't drive every decision the sport makes. Like, the sport is sort of beholden to the networks who spend billions of dollars. They're beholden to the OEMs who spend hundreds of millions of dollars. Like, there's so many other, as they would say, stakeholders that keep this sport afloat, that the fans can scream, we want this, but if those other stakeholders don't want that, like, I mean, I'm just saying, don't make promises you're not sure you can keep, because it's going to be hard to keep everyone happy. I think what O'Donnell's saying about going out listening to everyone, I think is a great way to start. But we'll just see when it comes down to make executive decisions here in the coming months and years. Like, we'll just see, how can he keep everyone happy? The odds are probably not, but hopefully, ultimately, everything's headed the right direction.
I do think while he's not really popular with a lot of fans, maybe he's more than he used to be, I do think he genuinely actually cares about the sport, unlike what a lot of people will say. Like, I think he cares about it. And I think the part too is he will have more power at this point. And to remember that a lot of those moves that we put on Steve O'Donnell or Steve Phelps, like, some of them are definitely them. But at the same time, it's under the leadership or orders of Jim France, Brian France, whoever else, I mean, I think Steve O'Donnell's been around since like 96. So he was around under Bill France Jr. There is that part of too. I'll at least want to be cautiously optimistic to give him a chance, see what he would want to do, what the vision is with a now much younger brain trust that's at least publicly facing for NASCAR. I mean, Ben Kennedy, 34 years old, and Steve O'Donnell is what, 56, 57? These aren't old mid-50s guys. Like, if you look at the CEOs, commissioners, those that run most major sporting leagues, this is actually on the younger side now for NASCAR, which is a huge shift.
Goodell's starting to look kind of old at the draft. I felt like, I don't know how old Roger Goodell is. He's got to be 60 something at this point, right?
Well,
yeah, he siphons life force from every ACL tear on a turf stadium.
Roger Goodell is 67 years old.
Oh, the chat's gonna go off on that one.
Just what the kids are into.
He's 67 years old. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think O'Donnell cares. Can he get the ship steered right? I mean, NASCAR's been, ultimately they've been on a downturn now for 20 years. Like, they've had moments where they briefly peak up or flatline, but by and large for 20 years now they've been on the downturn. So it's not going to be easy to turn that around, no matter who you are.
The real test to me is going to be, do we have sort of a come to Jesus moment when it comes to the next broadcast rights deal? Are we going to just keep chasing money, or are we going to do whatever? And again, it could change in 5 years, but are we going to do whatever is going to work to get more people seeing the sport? Take your medicine on that side of it and go. Like, maybe you get less money, but like the O'Reilly series, you're up 20-25% in your overall audience in 2 years. Because every other sporting league you're looking at, from stick and ball sports to racing, majority of them are up. I mean, look at NFL, NBA, NHL, MLB, all of them are up. All of them are easily accessible. The only one that's a little wavering at times per team is MLB, and that's a lot of times because of per team deals. IndyCar on Big Fox, it's up a ton. O'Reilly series is up a ton on CW. The Cup Series isn't, and it feels like between just on track and the obvious of getting it in front of more eyes for less money, like, that's pretty much it. I think that's going to be a real test of if they're really serious about giving it back to the fans more and getting it in front of fans more, rather than chasing the bag and trying to make a media deal out of it.
Yeah, it's a tough balance. I want to jump ahead in the itinerary real quick. Can we briefly go out of order and talk about the CW, ESPN
Yeah.
Unlimited deal, because it kind of relates to this. Because
Yeah,
we talk about like,
get that one out of the way, honestly.
yeah, we can talk about real quick. Just like the Cup Series is already so fragmented from Fox to NBC to Prime to TNT to practice and qualifying are on different stations. It's tough to find. The O'Reilly Series is great because every race is on the CW, free TV. But one complaint people have had is there's no way to stream races live on the go. They don't offer it on the CW app. Well, now they do offer it as part of the ESPN Unlimited package, which unless it's part of maybe whatever your cable deal is, you would have to pay an additional $30 a month to get all the content on ESPN Unlimited.
And
the other bad news is they put O'Reilly practice and qualifying now on ESPN Unlimited
that
exclusively.
they did have for free on there.
That was free on the CW app. So it's, if you have ESPN Unlimited already through like a Disney Plus or Hulu bundle or something, this is great news.
Yeah, I'm covered. I've already got Disney Plus, so I mean, I don't got nothing to worry about in my case. But I hate the fact that you're then telling people who were appreciating a free offer, that hey, that free thing you like, push you down and give me more money. Come here.
I'm not giving $30 essentially to the mouse. Like, I'm not a Disney guy. Really don't like that company in general. I'm not doing it for practice and qualifying for O'Reilly when I'm already paying nearly $100 for my TV already, which I still think is too much, and I'm wanting to downgrade somehow on. Like, I don't think a lot of people that are making a lot of these decisions in suits understand that people our age, we're not going to pay all this money for it. We'll find other ways to watch it, or we'll just not watch it. I'm not going to pay $30 for practice and qualifying for O'Reilly when it's diminished from what it was 10 years ago. Like, I'm getting less bang for my buck, and I got that with my basic cable package back in the day.
Maybe if you're a fan of, is it like AAC football? Which college league has CW? But yeah,
exactly.
I mean, exactly. So no, it's not at the end of the day, it's not
that's the CW.
The ACC, okay. It's not the, I mean, at the end of the day, it's O'Reilly practice and qualifying. Raise your hand if you watch every O'Reilly or even any O'Reilly practice qualifying sessions.
I put it on because I have the CW app right on my TV when I turn it on.
It's on the
home and there's nothing going on, sure, but especially here lately, I've been fishing on the weekends when it's nice weather. So
at best, it's background noise, and I cover this sport for a living. If I'm not at the track in person, it's background noise. I'll catch up on Twitter with all the details, but so it's not the biggest deal in the world. It's just frustrating that here's something that was free, that was accessible, that was consistent, now being moved to, again, we have Fox, NBC, CW, TNT, Prime Video, and now we also can throw ESPN freaking Unlimited into the mix. Like, when you talk about how easy it is for other sports leagues, NFL is going to be on Fox or CBS on Sundays. It's so much harder in the NASCAR world to keep up. If you're not a diehard, it's hard to keep up month to month with where every race is at, and that does hurt viewership.
I never expected this would be a weird way that ESPN comes back to NASCAR. Like, what? I thought CW was owned by CBS, aren't they? Like, wouldn't that be like Paramount Plus?
I don't know.
I don't even know who they're owned by.
They might be their own. No, they're owned by like Nexstar, or some like random telecommunications company, I think.
Well, and this is the worry I have long term for CW too, is they don't have a ton of money to be throwing around. Like, I mentioned it last week.
Taking a big risk by adding this much sports, it feels like.
The amount of money they're spending on a full season of O'Reilly doesn't even make up for 4 Cup races. So, like, they're wanting to be a serious player, but they don't have serious money, and them basically selling this stuff off screams to me desperation for more money. Not we're secure. Like, if they were secure on this, they'd be adding properties to it and not selling it off to ESPN. They'd be taking probably properties from ESPN they didn't want. So
that's a good way to look at it. We'll see where it goes. I want to reiterate this because I don't want people to miss the point. The race, the O'Reilly Series race, is still for free on the CW per usual. It's just if you're wanting to stream it on the go, that you now have to go to ESPN Unlimited.
If you have cable, an antenna, YouTube TV, whatever you have that's going to get you CW, you can still watch the races on there. That being said, let's move on. We got 3 quick topics to talk about, silly season news, before we can move on to a little bit of our fun segments.
All right, what we got?
And Tyler Reddick. The extension finally happened. It was after he won one race. It was probably, he said, "Oh, probably need to think about that." And after he won 2 or 3, he's like, "Yeah, that needs to happen." And now after 5, it's finally happened. He has signed an extension of multiple years of 2311 racing, worth $8 to $9 million per year. We don't know exactly how many years this is, right?
Where did we get
they
the
just
eight?
said Harvick said it on the broadcast at one point.
Oh, he said
He said it in the
okay, well,
pre-race show after when they were talking about it.
I'm just
I think he
looking
might
up
have got
where it had.
I think he might have had it wrong on per year. Honestly, that sounds like it'd be for full deal if it's that
Yeah.
much. Like I feel like per year, that's a lot for.
This is
modern
why I wish some of this
NASCAR.
stuff was more known for NASCAR, like it is for other sports, because it really. I want to know what's the value of a race car driver.
Well, Denny Hamlin's contract is $14 million per year, or at least his earnings are.
But he's
And I know-
also old guard driver too.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, you got. I mean, I could believe. I think that number. Let's put a big asterisk by it because I don't think anyone knows for sure. Not even Harvick. But say it is $8 million a year. I think that's reasonable for Reddick because you got to think he had other options. There was a tweet. I want to say it was from Bob Pockris, who's the most in the know of anyone in NASCAR, and he made the way he phrased it was along the lines of like Reddick has. Like Reddick had a decision to make. He had options, and he ultimately went with the 2311 option. Something about how he phrased it made it sound like, oh, like he had other options on the table. He picked the 2311 one. You have multiple bidders, the price goes up, especially if those bidders, we don't know this for sure, could have been a Hendrick Motorsports, could have been Aspire, possibly. They like to throw money around. Like that's going to drive the cost up. So I feel like $8 million a year is actually probably reasonable. Maybe. Yeah. So I don't know. But either way, yeah, the most important thing is he gets this deal done. I think it's good that, he's gotten 2311 over the hump into that true championship contention, race winning form. And they're disrupting the conventional super teams. I think that's great to have a new player at the front. And, it's Tyler Reddick, no pun intended, driving that.
Is it safe to say he's the franchise now? Like I know that he wasn't the rock they built it around to begin with, but he's the franchise.
I mean, yeah,
sure.
Similar thing to how Trackhouse might have started Daniel Suarez, then it seemed like Chastain became the franchise there. Same thing here. Started with Bubba, but he's not going to be the franchise long term.
Real cool, completely like doesn't have to do necessarily with any of the details, but so my dad's a big Reddick fan now. So he ordered this, right? He ordered this Bulls jersey. And this is what he got on the back.
Did he get Reddick on the back? Oh my god.
Yeah, he's gonna wear it to Chicagoland this year, and he's hoping that like Michael Jordan will see it or Reddick will see it and sign it. And I'm like,
that would be awesome.
It's gonna be unique. Like I'm betting Reddick would find that really cool. I had to give my dad a shout out on that one because he was so excited when he told me about it, and that looks like it was stitched.
That's pretty awesome. I found the tweet from Bob. This was how he phrased it. He says, his quote was, "Tyler Reddick has opted to stay at 2311." Doesn't that imply he had other options?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that does.
Yeah. And anyway, yeah, that's super cool. I love that jersey. That's awesome.
Name team. I'm betting one of them was sending some kind of offer, at least a touch base with him.
Yeah. So, but good for him. I'm glad he's staying again. I think it's good for the sport that Jordan has his guy that can win races and maybe championships down the line.
Yeah. What else we got?
We also have Kyle Busch getting a new crew chief, which a lot of people kind of seem to have the same, reaction to this. Like, crew chief ain't necessarily the issue. There's a lot more to this whole situation that's holding them all back.
To be fair, granted, small sample size, I think 5 races. He did get an 8th at Vegas and a 5th at Phoenix last year with Andy Street. So, like in very recent side of it, like at least there's some kind of positive to look towards. But I feel like after the sugar high dies down, like this is still Richard Childress racing.
I agree. I think there's only so much the crew chief can do. I do think the crew chief, I think Pullman probably was a key issue as to why the 8 is worse than the 3 right now. Did y'all hear Kevin Harvick on his podcast today? I don't think Harvick's a great broadcaster. I actually kind of enjoy his bluntness on his podcast. I think he's a good podcaster.
He'd be a good studio personality.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But did y'all hear what he said? He said, remember I think was it Bristol or what was the race a few weeks ago where Pullman and the spotter were blowing up on Channel 2 about
Bristol.
what
It was Bristol. Yeah.
He's like, what's the issue now? Why can't it get into the corner? And they're Harvick said on his show today that if he had heard that, if he was the driver, he would have fired his crew chief right there. That's what Harvick said. Yeah, and I'm like, wow, okay, so I think we all heard that radio and thought, ooh, don't love that. But hey, Kyle Busch is fiery. Maybe Pullman being fiery. Maybe fire and fire creates like a nuclear reaction that makes good things happen. Maybe that. But in hindsight, no, it sounds like fire and fire combine and just burn the whole place down. So I just think they realized 10 weeks in, hey, this car is very different than anything Pullman's worked on. The time is now to get the 8 car closer to chase contention to keep Kyle Busch happy so he might resign. Yeah. And I just think they couldn't sit on their hands and keep, Kyle Busch is not in a position to be rebuilding, so to speak. Like he has a few years left. He wants to win now. And it was clear Jim Pullman, maybe a few months down the line, maybe a year or two down the line, could be a winning Cup crew chief. But it seemed like right now it just was not a very good fit. So yeah, we'll see. I think you're right, Andy Street. They had some good finishes last year. Let's see if those were flukes. I guess we'll find out.
And speaking of being a good fit, Kyle Busch is a good fit in the memory for this guy, Ricky Stenhouse, after what happened to him at North Wilkesboro. You'll have to tell me about this, Jared, because I'm not as familiar with this one. Stenhouse might be on the move. What's going on with that one?
I saw Breakheart had talked about it a little bit. That's a possibility. And then there's been some like simmering rumors, nothing like concrete, but that is something that needs to be put on at least out there. Is that Stenhouse
team goes away?
Well, no, I mean his contract would be up this year. There's like I have the list actually here of all of the teams and drivers that are free agents this year or possible free agents. And it's everyone. Like I said, I don't think it's going to be like Ryan Blaney leaving or anything, or like Austin Dillon, even though technically his deal would end this year.
It's funny. I know he's good friends of Denny Hamlin. Imagine the wild card that he just takes Corey Haim's car.
Well, there was, again, I think we might, I don't know if we talked about it last week or if I brought it up this weekend on a stream. I can't remember, but I know there was the rumor of like possibly Michael McDowell retiring. So the 71 would even, if performance wasn't the issue.
I could see him at fire. I could see that.
I feel like Stenhouse has, when that team is not 30th, has overperformed in it. Like, remember that year where he was running like top 13, 14 on points, like just off rip, ready to go?
I think that was like 2023. I think he won the Daytona 500 and then stayed top 15 in points pretty much the entire regular season.
Yeah, this team just, I don't think this team is anywhere near where it was even then. At this point, it's been kind of gutted, and I think he's a better driver than, where's he at in points right now? 25th. Like, I think he could be better than 25th in points.
Yeah, I think so too. It'd be interesting. Yeah, I don't know where he would go, but yeah, to your point, I think there's now with Reddick locked up, maybe there's 7 drivers who we know have contracts for next year. So that leaves 29 up in the air. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see Stenhouse in like a top ride, like a Spire or better seat, to just see, hey, can he win a couple of races? Can he make a chase run? Like he did win back-to-back O'Reilly championships back in the day. Like the dude can drive. He makes some mistakes, but he can drive. It'd be interesting, but I don't know how many people are, hyped up to see a Stenhouse generational run in 2027, but it might happen. I guess it'd be interesting.
I could also just see him taking the 10 at Colleague and then Ty Dillon going to RCR.
I mean, especially if Dodge is there, I don't know how much of a connection Dillon would have with Colleague that isn't RCR affiliated.
You also got to think if Haim gets to Cup in the 35, let's say, and then like Jesse Love, I feel like he seems to be a pretty, like he's on the tip of everyone's tongue, could be going to Cup. There's 2 new rookies next year. That means 2 drivers are getting replaced. There are 2 drivers currently in Cup that would not be back next year, at least not full time. And so it's like, who are those guys going to be? Is it Herbst? Is it McDowell retiring, like you said? Is it like, I don't know, like that. So it's just interesting. There's really only 30.
Josh Berry.
Josh Berry. I mean, Josh Berry's been kind of nothing the last year and a half. I hate to say it.
Josh Berry, even a Bowman's one of those I kind of worry about if he loses the 48. I don't know where he fits in at.
Health reasons. Yeah, I mean, you just don't know. You don't know.
Health permitting, I think they give him one more year. I think Hendrick likes him. The sponsor likes him. And honestly, like, it's hard to judge him off this year. Health is just that big question for me. That is, I don't have questions of his ability as a driver. I just have questions of his health at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think with Hendrick, real quick, I was thinking about this the other day with that 48 car. I think they only have, like, I've seen some rumors. Oh, what if, I don't think they're putting, well, here, let me just say what I'm going to say. I think with the 48 car, I like a Stenhouse to me doesn't make sense for the 48, for example. Like, I feel like if you're Hendrick Motorsports, you either re-sign Bowman short term and then see if Corey Day develops over the next couple of years. You go get a Kyle Busch for a 1 or 2 year deal, like a prove it deal. But what you don't do is you don't go get, like, for example, who would be a good example? Like, you don't go get
Chris Buescher,
yeah, who, like, because then it's like, okay, maybe he's really good and that's great, but like also then, okay, when Corey Day's ready in 2 years, where do you put him? You're not replacing Byron Elliott or Larson, so it's like, what do you do?
Don't have enough options that make sense right now.
Would you go get Jesse Love and put him in the 48? I don't know. I feel like I'd rather just wait and see how Corey Day develops.
I mean, I think I would maybe if they want to snipe him that bad, but
Hendrick rarely puts this much into a driver and doesn't get them to Cup, though.
That's what I mean. So it just feels like you either re-sign Bowman or you go get like a veteran for a 1 or 2 year deal and just kind of, it's just understood this is like a 2 year deal. Like, this is it. I mean,
if they want to throw a bone to Kyle Busch, we'll find out what's really left, especially if they can kind of get that 48 team a little more in order. I mean, I feel like Kyle Busch at this point is going to be a journeyman driver. There is no option for him to me that is longer than 3 years. I feel like he's just plug and play, whatever works until he works his way back down to trucks or whenever that is. But I'm sorry. I don't see it, though. I don't see him being in the 48. I think Bowman coming back is probably the most likely option as long as his health allows.
I agree.
Well, with that being said, I think that's enough of that. You guys ready to have some fun?
Yeah, I can have some fun. Yeah, why
if
not?
you insist.
We're a little bit later than I thought we'd be getting to this point, but it is what it is. We're going to make it. Predictions. Each host will make 2 NASCAR, motorsports, or show-related predictions. Predictions are kept track each week in our accountability session, and we try to keep predictions relatively concise and within a few years' time. We don't want things hanging on for 10 years and be 40 years old trying to figure out what this is. Eric, you had 3 good ones. All 3 RFK Fords remain in a chase through spring Talladega. And you also said that RCR will get a top 10 at Talladega. And they did with Kyle Busch, right?
Yeah.
Yep, 10th.
Oh, and I was so close to my 3rd prediction. Oh, I think if Chris Buescher wins, I would have gotten that right?
Yeah, you would have. You would have.
Oh, man.
Jarrett had Carson Hocevar will get his first win before Connor Zilish. There you go. Talladega will average less than 4 million viewers. We were getting close to it, but you were correct. And you also had that Daniel Dye would be featured on the Michael Ultra Grid Walk. He was not, but instead you had we
had Lap Dance Granny. That's what we're going to call her.
And I have nothing. So overall, Eric, you're dominating the season with a prediction percentage of 63.13%. Jarrett, you're an even 50, and I am at 31.82%. And for overall, we're a lot closer here. Jarrett, you're at 37.62%. Eric, 34.40%, and I'm 32.27%.
All right. Let's Eric, kick it off.
Do I go? Okay. How do I do this? Do I want to do... I'll do a Texas prediction to start with. I'll do one for this weekend. I've had good luck with these for the most part. These guys were fast here last season. Carson Hocevar just got his first win, so he's feeling good. Daniel Suarez, new to Spire this year, but his career average finish at Texas, or I think his average finish at Texas over the last 5 years is 9th. Put him in a Spire car. I think Spire will get at least 2 cars in the top 10 this Sunday.
Okay. I'll make a Texas prediction too. Texas will outscore the Kansas race. 61% net positivity on the poll.
I'm not going to be going anything this weekend. I'm going to say Tyler Reddick will win at least one more of the crown jewel races this season. So that could mean the Coke 600, the Brickyard 400, or the Southern 500. Tyler Reddick will win at least one of those and get at least, half of them this season.
I'll go and make both mine Texas related. Why not? I think this race finishes in overtime. Cup race.
Honestly, that feels like how Texas has been in recent years. So, Danny, last week you said Reddick, I believe you said, would be on the cover of NASCAR 26, right?
I did have him, yes.
I am going to say in some way Carson Hocevar will be on the cover of NASCAR 26, especially
they'll
after
probably
that.
have one for each manufacturer, and almost seems like he would be the best option for Chevy.
I hope they go with just one driver. Like, we don't need every manufacturer on every single thing we do. Like, no, we don't need participation trophy covers. Let's just have a badass cover with Carson Hocevar riding the Dente car all the way down the tri-oval at Talladega. Like, that's what I would want.
It was a solid NASCAR video game cover. Was NASCAR 09 when you had Jeff Gordon looking all prestigious, but you had his car, and then you had Dale Jr. National Guard right beside of it. It's like, hey, there's Junior right there. There's 2 cars on the cover.
Yeah, I mean, Thunder 04 had Jimmy Johnson, Tony. You had all the cars you want. I want one cover star driver that you can sell.
I agree. One driver, multiple cars. That's the secret to a great video game cover.
Then you had NASCAR 2003, and they had to have Dale Jr. turn your hat around, and we can't show the Budweiser logo.
Think we got one more.
Draft just completed, and overall, I'm pretty happy with what Titans did. And I'm going to say Titans will win 7 or more games in 2026, which is saying a lot considering they've won less than that in the last 2 years combined.
Might score as much as Vrabel.
Oh, that man has 2 more kids, doesn't he?
Well, I don't know. We can guess all we want, just like they can. How about we guess on random drivers this week? I
do like guessing on random driver. Bye, chat. See you later.
Driver of the week.
All right. So, random driver of the week. Danny leads Eric 40-39. So, dead heat. I swear, we don't plan these before either. It just ends up this way. So, in the last 5 from furthest back on up, Eric got Tony Stewart. Then Danny got Nelson Piquet Jr. Eric gets David Starr. And then Danny gets Dave Marcus and David Rudiman on the triple thread of Daves and Davids.
All right.
I will say I purposely made sure that we could just have a 3 stretch of Daves in some way, just to see if you guys are like, all right, Dave something on the radar.
Is there any more Daves he could do?
Oh, there are plenty of Daves. David, there was a point where the Cup Series had 5 versions of Dave or David in the Cup Series.
It's a very common name.
Very much so. All right, let's get it going. This random driver is from Martinsville, Virginia. This random driver did pass away 4 years ago in Martinsville as well. Lived his whole life in Martinsville.
Wow.
So chat, gonna get it already?
Yeah, I'm not thinking of big deaths from 4 years ago right off the top of my head.
So none of us have tweeted about this random driver. I will say that, except for me. I did once. Yeah. This random driver was known for being extremely loyal to Mopar. This random driver was actually still driving cars for Mopar 5 years after they first left the sport.
So okay, but that would be early on because they came back in 01, we know.
Yes. And this random driver played a big part actually in Mopar being in NASCAR and in racing in general, pretty much till the day he died. So, would you guys like the numbers for this random driver?
I feel like that's gonna be our only chance.
I was about to say there doesn't seem to be very many clues if we're already at the numbers.
I think we got 17 clues.
Okay, go for it.
1, 3, 5, 6, 35, 62, 65, 67, 73, 78, 81, 84, and 87.
You went a little fast. Can you say it one more time?
1, 3, 6, 5. Sorry, I don't know why I did those out of order. 35, 62, 65, 67, 73, 78, 81, 84, 87.
Some random numbers.
Yeah, it fits the segment.
Man. Yeah, that's the random number generator activity right there.
Okay, OEMs, Chevrolet, Ford, Dodge, and Plymouth in NASCAR.
With emphasis on Dodge.
Yes.
Wait, was Plymouth also on Mopar? I don't remember.
I'll be honest, I didn't look that
Yeah.
far into any of it, but I'm pretty
Think they were.
sure. This random driver was known most for running the 67 car. This random driver was very intensely an independent owner driver. Did not
kind of figured that.
Yeah.
As chat's probably figured it out a while ago
Yeah,
at this point.
They got it. This random driver was actually the last to score a top 10 in the 67 car until Corey Heim did in the 2025 Bristol Night Race.
Oh my gosh.
That's crazy.
I can't really remember ever a good 67 car. So this is really tough.
I'm lost. I'll be honest.
This random driver made 560 starts in the Cup Series.
He couldn't make it 567.
He is lost now. That's he's a legit driver. Assuming it's he. Have you said he?
I said he. Yeah, I don't need to hide it. This
I
random driver.
I don't know if we've ever had a woman hit that many starts in Cup, have we?
Oh yeah, you're probably right. Maybe way back in the day. I don't know.
This random driver scored 103 top 10s in the Cup Series.
Nice.
Nothing. This random driver has the second most starts in Cup history without a win.
Who has the most?
I'm
we know
gonna
that?
save that for a random driver.
Chat, let us know. Give it. I need to know. I can Google that after the segment.
So they never won, but they sure kept trying.
This random driver earned to about $2 million in his NASCAR career. So take that with what the times were and kind of see where
I still say low for that many races completed.
Yeah.
This random driver raced in Cup from 1964 to 1988. I got one more clue. So
make it 100.
I feel like you're gonna win this one.
Yeah.
This random driver's son actually made the news recently. He designed a Gen 4 car that was modified and attempted to drive 250 miles per hour or more for America's 250th birthday, hitting 253 on March 23rd this year.
I didn't see that.
It was on Reddit.
Oh, that's sick. Now I want to know who this is.
Wish I knew the son's name, but I feel like if it's like a senior, junior, it gives it away.
Yeah. Does the son, can we get that hint? Is the son's name the same as the father's?
I'm not giving any hints on the names.
My brother in Christ.
You're not giving us enough here.
I'm so far off base. You could give me their initials. I probably wouldn't get it.
Should I?
Shoot, no, don't, because that'll be really embarrassing.
Let's do it. BA.
Bachelor of Arts. Oh, honestly, why not?
Just messing with you guys at this point.
Did you say B or VA?
B.
B
as in B.
Boy. B as in what's his first name?
I don't know if I should go that far with it.
Oh man,
it's very clearly not Bobby Allison.
Bobby Allison.
I said very clearly not.
I don't know.
I know.
Man.
I'm just messing with you guys now.
BA. Bo Armstrong. I don't know.
Probably not real.
Speedy Thompson treatment.
Do you think, is this a really outside, like, are we going to know the name when you say it?
You might. It depends on how much you watched back in the day when it was on back in the day.
Well, I was not around.
I was definitely alive, and I watched back in the day.
Was not alive in the 60s or 70s.
The show with Dale Earnhardt Jr. that aired on the Speed Channel that would show old races and stats and different things about drivers.
We didn't have Speed until I was like in high school, maybe. That was like
the time we were in high school, Eric. It was FS1.
Well, no, it switched in like 2014 or whatever that was. Maybe middle school then. I had it at the very end of its life cycle, but I remember always being frustrated because I think like the Bud Shootout for a few years was on Speed, and I couldn't watch it because we didn't have like the premium cable, whatever package that came with. I don't know, man. I'm lost. I feel like we look pretty bad. Just take your victory lap. Let us know who is it.
Yeah, I think I call it
Buddy Arrington.
Oh, okay.
It's one of those names that I'm like, but I'm not too familiar with him.
When I tweeted about him, I think it might have been Brock who had put a tweet out like a long time ago, but he was like, name a random NASCAR driver that you'd think no one else would think of. And I immediately, Buddy Arrington, and he immediately responded before we met. He's like, great choice.
Yeah.
All right. I got one.
I don't even know what's his son's name. I'm blanking on that.
I think it was like Joey Arrington.
I don't know that one.
Wow, that one I've heard of Buddy Arrington, but I didn't. I can't say I had many.
Garrett, I'll move you up to 8th.
You're ahead of the guest.
Am I ahead of the guest? Woo!
Yeah, let me make sure reflect that better.
Let's do it. I'm ahead of the guest. Woo-hoo!
Well done, those in the chat who picked it up so quickly. Well done.
To be fair, like I think some of them definitely got it. I do think some also got Google.
I mean, yeah, they can always Google that stuff.
Not all,
well,
but
I feel like once like somebody mentions it, like says the name, it's like, oh yeah, like because whenever a lot of times when you say these that we don't get, or when Danny says one, I'm like, oh, like I'm like, oh yeah, that's it, that makes sense.
Like that was legitimately a hard one right there.
Yeah, but I like need to like, it's one of those. If it was multiple choice, I would get it right away, but but it's not multiple choice. Fill in the blank is a lot harder when you're brain dead like I am.
All right, what we got? What else do we got? It's a packed show.
Yeah, we have a lot of weekend notes right here ahead of Texas Motor Speedway this weekend. We will have a new tire for Cup this weekend that has been used at Darlington, Kansas, and Las Vegas. Chad Fincham is back in a number 66 for Garage 66 this weekend. Corey Heim is in the 67 for 2311. There are no Fords in the O'Reilly Series race this weekend. RIP Ford in the O'Reilly Series. Connor Zilish is in the number 1 for JRM this weekend. Austin Dillon is in the number 3 for RCR this weekend in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. Raja Krupp is back in the 32. Carson Quabble's in the 9. Kyle Larson's in the 88. And Brandon Jones is in the 1 truck. William Sawalich is in the 5 truck. Kyle Busch is in the 7 Spire truck. Parker Kligerman is racing the number 25 Colic truck. Ross Chastain is in the 45. Corey Roper is in the 62 for Hallmar Friesen. And Carson Hocevar is in the 77 Spire truck.
Same scheme as this past week, too. It looks really good on a truck.
And meanwhile, Cup Series race this weekend is the Werf 400. Sorry. Once I read a note, I realized I didn't write someone down for my picks, and I wanted to at least get them in there.
It's all good.
Good call. Good call.
We're 400. It's a 267 lap race. It's broke up 80 laps in stage 1, 85 laps in stage 2, 102 laps in stage number 3. Scheduled to start at 3:30 p.m. Eastern time. You can catch it on FS1 and Fox 1. You can also listen to it on PRN and the Sirius XM radio. You can try to listen to it on the NASCAR app. I tried doing that last weekend with MRN, and it was a skippy.
Well, wait,
just like that.
That was perfect.
Glitchy mess. I don't know what was happening there.
Oh, he's back. That's so funny.
Danny, you glitched out right when you started saying that, and then you like stop for a second and went, it was a glitchy mess.
The irony.
That was irony on the high end. Okay, Cito, put that down on your top 15 list this year.
Anyway, I was just trying to say I was not sticking around to see if it ever got fixed because that was just a horrible mess right there.
I'm
Not
sorry.
great.
I don't mean to make it.
The O'Reilly race is the Andes Frozen Custard 340. It's a 200 lap race. Broke up 45 laps in stage 1 and 2 and 110 laps in stage number 3. It's scheduled to start at 3:30 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday. You can watch it on the CW and listen to it on PRN and Sirius XM radio. The defending winner of this race is Kyle Larson. The Truck Series race is the SpeedyCash.com 250. It's a 167 lap race. Broke up 40 laps in stage 1 and 2, 87 laps in stage number 3. And this one's scheduled to start at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. You can check it out on FS1 and Fox 1. You can also listen to it on the NASCAR Racing Network and Sirius XM Radio. The defending winner of this race will not be racing this year. It's Corey Heim. He will not be in this Truck Series race, so we will get a different winner this year. As for this weekend's weather, we're going to shout out our boy Jeff Vork. You can follow him on Twitter at VorcastWX. He just changed his Twitter handle to update things a little bit. But for this weekend, his Texas forecast says that this weekend is oddly looking like last year at the same time. Funny how that works in the weather business. Friday will be most busy day. The farthest reach of the shorter term, higher resolution guidance wants to push waves of showers and a few embedded thunderstorms through Fort Worth through much of the day. The rain chances are over 70% for Friday. There remains a lot to be seen with exactly how fast the cold front and its supporting jet stream trough helps clear out the area, but there is certainly a delay in play for the start of the Craftsman Truck Series, if not outright pushing it to Saturday. Keep tabs on his thoughts on that on his X profile. He says, any fans camping or staying in the area need to be mindful of flooding and the typical dangers with thunderstorms. The majority of the severe thunderstorm potential will stay south for what it's worth, though. And he said the actual weekend days look like almost like last year with lots of sunshine. Saturday morning will be cool with temperatures around 50 degrees. Afternoon will be 75 degrees. Sunday will start the same, then give way to highs in the 80s. So for Texas standards, pretty good. I think that sounds a little bit more pleasant than even how it was for me a couple of weeks ago when I went to visit Eric.
Yeah, Saturday and Sunday sound nice. So let's just try to survive Friday.
Yeah, definitely. Let's talk about the pick points. I'm leading still. I can't believe it.
Well done. Well played.
Chat, you're -9. Eric, you're 12 back. Jarrett, you're still basement, but you're not 20 points basement. You're 17 points basement. Even with the Cup Series win, still trying to work your way back up.
Going into Sunday was 28 out, so yeah, it could be worse. It could be much worse.
Very, very true.
Yeah.
So, Jarrett, who do you think is going to win the Truck Series race?
Kyle Busch. I still like him in the Truck Series.
Okay.
This is an interesting situation because I was only half kidding about tanking for the road course picks next week. Like I'm not even joking. I'm tempted to throw this
Oh,
weekend.
come on. If I didn't with the first pick, we'll have a little.
I thought you were
integrity.
for a second. When you said Kyle Busch, I'm like,
No.
ooh, I had him on my
No.
list, not first.
He's still
All right.
I'll play his
play
last
straight
4
up.
starts here.
I'll play straight up because honestly, I feel like I'm okay having the number 2 pick next week too, because Zilich I think is going to be in all 3 races.
Yep.
And yeah, so I'm okay with having. So I'll play for real. I'll go Caden Honeycutt. Bless
What's
you.
going Caden Honeycutt?
Yeah.
Who's the check at?
I think they're going Ross Chastain. I've seen the 45 more than any other number. I've seen the 77 some, but I feel like the 45 is standing out to me.
Yeah, that's a 45 if I have ever seen it.
They're going to Ross Chastain.
Well, maybe. I don't know. You might called it too early because I saw 6 Hocevars in a row.
I mean, we can do a poll.
It might be.
It was looking a lot stronger.
Now it's 77s waving through.
Yeah.
Here goes the wave of 77s.
Yeah, I don't know.
Those are both good picks either way.
Yeah, I think both are very good.
We will poll, and I will stay quiet because one of those was actually both of those were options for me.
If
I can time this right, I can get a 77% for the 77.
It's a blowout.
Come on, hit it. It hit 77, dang it. They're going lower now. Oh, well. It's over. They want 77.
So I take it you got the 45?
Yeah, I'll take Chastain.
All right. O'Reilly picks.
What do you got?
Kyle Larson.
Wow, a monkey.
A monkey.
I got options here. I'm gonna shock some folks, and I'm gonna say Sheldon Creed.
It's not too surprising.
There's some Cup guys in this race. Okay, so yeah. Yep.
Let's see. What you got, chat?
That's a lot of sevens. Yeah, that's a lot of sevens.
Yeah,
Okay.
give them all, Geyer. And I actually get my number 1 pick. I want Austin Dillon.
I thought about that.
He only shows up in Maine's business.
He's won the Cup Series race here before.
Isn't Zilich racing?
He is.
Yep.
Wow, I'm surprised nobody took Zilich.
That's what I'm saying.
The momentum's down from him. I know he did win a race, but still overall down.
He won the last time he was in this car.
All right. Well, I got this one right last week, but I feel like that was sort of more of a layup to get right just because of every Talladega race. This one, I'm going to go against the numbers because this person's went against the numbers all year. Ross Chastain. I don't trust Trackhouse anymore, even at a track that Chastain has historically been really good at.
Yeah,
I would agree. Penske finished really good in this race last year, but I've not liked their 1.5 mile speed at all thus far. So I'm actually going to go crazy mode and say Ryan Blaney continues to kind of dip.
Jared, if you say Kyle Busch is going to win the Truck Series race, and I say he's obviously going to suck even more so than usual, because it seems like anytime he steps into a truck, he gets like way worse when he's in a Cup car now.
So you're on Busch?
Yeah, that's my suck pick.
By the way, Chet, you can't just pick Fox every week. That's like picking Cody Ware.
Ironically enough, I think Hocevar has the most like numbers besides the 35, I think.
Really?
So just for that, I'll give him Hocevar just so they can't pick him to win somehow.
Ooh, brutal.
That's surprising. Huh? All right. Yeah, they put him. For my dark horse, I know I talked kind of negatively about him earlier, but I will go Michael McDowell. Almost won this race before. Spire's been decent. I think he needs a chance to shine at some point. So I'm going to go 71 on this one.
I'll go Suarez. I mentioned it earlier. He's been really good at Texas. And now I think the car he's in is maybe better than the car he was in last year. So yeah, I'll go Suarez.
think they're going McDowell as their underdog.
Smart move.
And then I'm going Chris Buescher as my underdog.
You're just inverting the numbers at this point.
Pretty much.
I'm glad there are a few Eric Jones mentions because he's been good here too.
He has. All righty. Winner
Who's
pick.
gonna win the cup race, Jarrett?
Winner. I'm gonna go Denny Hamlin on this one. I'm honestly, for me, it was tossing up any Toyotas.
I can't ignore the fact that this guy's led like 80 or 90 laps every race here over the last few years. I think he's going to win it for the first time in the next gen era. Kyle Larson snaps the streak.
That's fair.
Chat, who do we got? I mean, 45 is a pretty good bet this year. I've seen a lot of those in there.
Yeah, and
He
y'all
was
can
on
quit
my
saying 11.
list.
That's already gone. So, yeah, give him Tyler Reddick.
So will that be win number 6? I mean, we're going to know for sure if he wins the pole at this rate, right?
Well, he won it last race, so
who you got?
I'll go Ty Gibbs. At least I think he's consistent enough to be
Wow.
top 5. So,
I mean,
Okay.
stats this year prove he's been pretty consistent.
You've had good luck with Ty picking him this year, so I get it.
I'm not as
Okay.
confident he's winning this one as I was Bristol, but hey, I'll go with him because I need some consistency. And if it's not a super speedway, he's been consistent.
So trucks, I have Busch, Eric Honeycutt, Hocevar for the chat, Danny with Chastain, O'Reilly. I got Larson, Eric has Creed, Allgaier for chat, Danny has Austin Dillon, and Cup. I have Hamlin, Eric has Larson, chat Reddick, and Danny has Ty Gibbs. All right.
The guy on Twitter who's always happy whenever we pick Toyotas is going to be thrilled this week.
That's one of my favorite bits, honestly, on Twitter right now. Like every
Yeah.
time it's like
He's
I
got
remember
he's got that 2013 Hamlin profile picture.
Yeah.
and it's like it never fails if one of us picks a Toyota and everyone else picks like Hendrick or Penske or just anyone else. He's like, Danny knows wheel. The rest of these guys are clueless. The worst picks I've seen. I remember the one where we all picked Hendrick cars, and he's like, I'm about done at this point. These guys don't know a damn thing about wheel. And then like the next week we picked all Toyotas. He goes, you guys have redeemed yourself. You know what you're talking about. You know wheel. He always puts in wheel or you don't know wheel. Oh man.
That's
All
fine.
right. Yeah.
We can get back to some super chats. We will be back next week, by the way, as it says right there. We'll be back on Eric's channel Wednesday, May 6th at 8 p.m. Eastern time. But yeah, let's get back to some super chats because y'all have been very active, very generous tonight. Picking back up with Logan King with $1.99. When's the last time Lionel's site crashed?
That's a great question.
Probably 2017 with the Dell Jr. Homestead car when it first got released.
I believe that.
They had like one of those old school like call-in shows on like a local paid
QVC.
programming. Yeah, and I remember watching that in an RV out in Wisconsin and being like, should I call? I'm like, I feel like it's gonna be cheaper a few months from now to just get it then.
I've got my Kenseth 2017 Homestead car on the shelf behind me. I don't remember crashing the site for that one.
Stephen Gibson, appreciate $5. Hocevar celebration was the best I've seen since I was a kid of Tony Stewart climbing the fence. Can't wait to see this more often. And I don't think you'll see that quite as often, but you'll see some good ones from him, I think.
I can't wait to see what he comes up with next.
Ryan P, appreciate the $20 from you. Question for you all. Would you include drivers like Newman and McMurray in the Hall of Fame? It's always a tough question. They don't have a lot of wins. They don't have a championship, but they both won a Daytona 500, Brickyard 400. McMurray's a little harder for me to justify than Newman because Newman at least had good periods of consistency. He was great when it came to qualifying. He has so many pole awards to his name. Newman is an easier one to justify to McMurray because McMurray we saw speed at the start of his career. We saw a good burst there in the middle and it just kind of fizzled away. But eventually we're probably going to run out of drivers. So maybe one day there's a spot for them both. But Newman is an easier one in my opinion.
McMurray, no. Newman depends on how many drivers we roll through.
Yeah,
That's mine.
I don't think either are.
but
I do think there should be like a display for Newman and all his polls, though. Like it's something to be like, this dude won a lot of polls, like I mentioned somewhere.
Call him Rocket Man for a reason. Blake Feynman was $1.99. Better paint scheme: 43 Doritos or black 77 chilies. Well, we're going to see the black 77 chilies a lot more, so probably go with that one. And plus, it won. But man, that 43 Doritos did look really good last week.
I think it's the chilies card. It's not close.
Intimidante.
Yeah.
Hunter Nixon with $10. Appreciate that again from you. Wish the car race as good as it looked. Personally, I like the look of next gen better than Gen 6, but mile and a half are the only tracks this car works at. Can't wait for Charlotte. Yep. Coke 600 is going to be a fantastic race, I feel.
Hopefully, yeah.
98 Doom. Appreciate the $20. NASCAR either needs to shrink down the cars or absolutely increase the horsepower because those cars are way too big to go that slow anywhere bigger than a quarter mile. I agree.
Well, that just means, getting rid of all the fuel saving. Is that what they're talking about?
I think so.
Yeah.
Fred Dog, appreciate $10. Am I the only one who thinks Hocevar celebration was pretty much the same one Kyle Busch did before he felt it was too dangerous? It's not that original, and I'm the resident Kyle Busch hater. I think I know what you're referring to, where he was kind of coming out of the car, or
yeah, he was outside of it. I think he had like the steering wheel off, kind of doing a burnout.
Yeah.
I mean, it's similar, but I don't think we've ever seen somebody drive while sitting on the door the way Hocevar did. So
we've seen drivers park it up against the wall and like kind of like lean out of the car while burning it down. Like if Hocevar had just done that, I would have said, "Oh, that's cool," but we've seen that before. It's still been cool. I've never seen anyone ride, 400 yards facing the fans. Basically did like a little drive-by parade, waving, like the fact that he's face to face with the crowd and he
looking
covered
like someone else is driving him around.
Yeah, he covered like half the Grand City. He looked like the Pope out there, waving at all of his constituents, the Pope mobile.
You know what he looked like?
He looked like Mickey Mouse dancing on the back of that parade float going down the street,
What he looked like when he came up to the wall and kind of just hit it. You see him bump like that.
Yeah.
It reminded me of like a, let's just say like a 12-year-old kid in one of those little like Power Wheels Lightning McQueens that look like they're way too big for it, and they're clearly way too big for it, just like sticking out of it.
Yeah. No, so that part wasn't as original, but the drive-by, that I've never seen. That was cool.
Below the apron, appreciate the $5. It's very refreshing not hearing the victory interview start with the words, "Welcome to the playoffs." I agree. Even though in this case, hey, he's still in it for now. So Stephen Gibson, appreciate the $5. I do not understand why Fox never put Jamie Mack in the cut booth. He would have been great.
I think we're seeing that here in the CW for sure.
Probably didn't want to play a character.
That's you're not wrong.
You had creative differences with Artie back in the day. They couldn't work together. I don't know.
What a name. Hank Dies. Appreciate the $4.99. The 2x2 gridlock we see makes the idiots who say NASCAR is just skilllessly driving in circles actually be right for once. It's an embarrassing product.
I mean, it's not great.
Can't argue against you, so you got a point.
Mm-hmm.
Optics 82, appreciate the $1.99. Alan Bestwick doing Indy 500 open testing on TV? Question mark. Big eyes.
I mean, doesn't he do the commentary at the track? I'm assuming
He does. Yeah, he's on the loudspeaker.
Yeah.
Eyeball 07, appreciated $2. Sheldon Creed, best average finish in the O'Reilly Auto Parts series is 6.5.
I'm telling y'all, he's been really good this year. My pick to win Texas.
Van Boney Sports, our favorite Zamboni driver, appreciate $10. Driving to Zamboni tonight. Then boys, trip to Texas for the race. Eric, if I see you there, could I pick your brain for a minute? I'm a sports media student and would love some of your insights.
Sure, if you see me there, no, I'd be happy to chat for a minute. I don't have plans to like be anywhere scheduled at this time, but I'll be out and about, especially Sunday before the Cup race. I'll be walking around the fan area outside the track for a bit.
He's very easy to spot.
Yeah, if anyone sees me out there, feel free to come say hi. We can chat for a minute, unless I'm like running somewhere, but I'm usually not in a rush.
I don't know if I've ever seen you running anywhere.
It's rare, but yeah, sometimes you never know. You just never know what's going on. Things happen fast, and these racetracks are big. You got to cover a lot of ground in a short amount of time. So I got to put these long legs to the test.
We need to do that trendy video where, like, I realize I've never seen you run full speed. We need to do that where we all run full speed for each other.
Jarrett's the distance runner. I don't know who the fastest of the three of us is, though. Probably still Jarrett. I don't know. I'm not very fast.
I don't think I'm as probably good as I used to be, but I used to be pretty quick when I was playing football.
I used to be a speedster before I broke my leg. Then it just didn't heal perfectly, so I never got that speed back. It's all about the endurance.
So it sounds like it's going to be a really ugly sprint if we race each other.
It's going to be 3 tortoises versus 0 hares.
Jarrett's going to be limping. Danny's going to be trying to relive his football days, and I'm going to be like fucking Gumby, like, you know, Victor Wembanyama galloping across the grass.
Yeah, there's a reason my competitiveness has been fishing these days.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Fred Dog 81, appreciate the $5. So did anything come out of that legacy announcement, or did they just say 15% on their car insurance? Can't even find anything consistent on Google. Yeah, it was not much. It was kind of a big nothing burger.
It was like a sponsor / product announcement.
That's what it was. They were getting a line of like car care products in Dollar Tree or something like that.
Yeah.
Which is like, sure, but that did not need to be that hyped up. Jeffrey King, appreciate $1.99. Hocevar is a fret, and I want Chili's now. I had Chili's. NASCAR marketing works.
Like a national security threat? What are we talking about here?
I mean,
the memes call him a terrorist all the time, so I guess that's what they mean.
He's a weather advisory. He's a hurricane. You know, National Weather
Cat
Services.
77.
Yeah, there's a hurricane threat making landfall Tuesday. Batten down the hatches.
Jeffrey also said reduce spoilers on all tracks. Alex Luff, appreciate the $5. A random question: who's the most famous non-motorsports person you guys met? For me, it's Jake the Snake Roberts. I mean, there's been a few people outside of motorsports, but probably the most perfect timing, perfect place ones. Last year on our trip to Jamaica, we just happened to be eating at the same place that Usain Bolt and his wife were at on his wife's birthday, which was just insane that happened.
Yeah, that's probably number one. I don't think I've met anyone as famous as Usain Bolt.
I mean, I in passing met Derrick Henry at Nashville, and then I had a conversation at Kansas Speedway with Jensen Ackles, which was pretty fun.
I met
Supernatural
Dennis Quaid.
fans.
I talked to Dennis Quaid. Yeah, the race a couple of years ago. I made an effort to go up there and say hi to him and tell him how much I loved The Rookie as a kid.
That's
the
pretty
baseball
awesome.
movie.
Well, I didn't know who Jensen Ackles was when I met him. So like he was just we were standing behind Blaney's pit, and he was just asking me questions about NASCAR because he had been out of it for a while. And so he's like, well, what happened to like Gordon and Dale Jr.? I'm like, well, Jr. retired 2 years ago, Gordon about 4. I'm like, Gordon's actually right there. And I pointed to the top of Chase Elliott's pit box. And then I'm like explaining all this stuff. And again, I didn't know who he was until like 2 years ago. I'm watching the boys. I'm like, hey, it looks familiar. And then I looked up Jensen Ackles NASCAR. I go, that's who it was. Damn it. Like I met Soldier Boy. Oh yeah, Dean from Supernatural. I didn't watch Supernatural. That was one of my blind spots in media growing up.
Alex with the $2. Gonna see Big Boy 4014 on the tour, Danny. I mean, I would like to, but I just don't know. They're doing a West Coast to East Coast tour, but nothing really convenient for Tennessee. So, just have to wait and see on that one. Santa Claus, Father of Christmas. Appreciate the $1.99. No 2 more guesses, Eric.
Is that for someone's hero?
Yeah, who's Santa Claus's hero? I don't know. Jesus. That's my second guess.
Indy Carson going on a run of a couple here. Hey, NWP, NASCAR at Talladega. ARCA, Cleetus leads his first lap and almost won. Too many wrecks. O'Reilly, what a day for Corey. Not many wrecks.
Is that a pun?
Cup. I didn't watch till lap 52 due to birthday gifts for people at a NASCAR party. Yeah, Carson showed him why having that name is big as your first or last name. That was a big wreck in that event.
Carson, yeah.
Alex for $5. I just remembered I'm gonna miss the FIFA World Cup final this year because I'm going to North Wilkesboro. If I miss Germany winning it, that's gonna suck. Well, North Wilkesboro will be fun.
Can't think of anything more different than the FIFA World Cup. You know,
Jeffrey King, CW is a trap. I fear watch next year be exclusive. Oh, on the streaming app?
I don't think it will.
I think it'll stay on
No,
the
I
normal
don't
CW.
think so.
Ratings are too good.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. Justin Drake, appreciate it. 1999. Imagine if Carson had Odell Beckham Jr. one-handed that beer during a celebration. Oh, the catch. That would have been the coolest if he shotgunned a beer while sitting on the edge and burning it out against the wall. It would have been cool. It would have been cool.
It would have been insane. That's going to be a tough catch, though.
Jensen, appreciate $20. My wife and I went to Chili's here in Honolulu, and we were the only ones who understood the sign/balloons that said number 77's first win. Had to explain what that meant to people around us. Congrats to the Hurricane. Aloha. Did they see? I only got my Chili's to go, so I don't know if mine would have had anything inside that had said that.
Did they have decorations in your Chili's? Because if so, that's awesome.
Yeah, I did not.
True. Yeah, wow.
I only went into at Chili's, if you get to go, there's just a to go area off to the side. You're not even going in the restaurant for that. So I don't even know if mine had that actually. If they did, that's really awesome.
He says, yeah, in the chat. That's super cool. Then
that's awesome.
Wow, that's incredible. BGWX Chasing, appreciate it. 499. Hang the banner. I beat the scalpers and managed to get a dual autograph race when diecast. Heard it sold out within a couple minutes. So excited. Yeah, a lot of people wanted it in every single one. I can't decide. If I do order it, I can't decide if I want to get the just the regular one. But the thing is, they've gone so much up in price now. Even the regular one's like $90 these days. And I've always loved the finish of a liquid color car, and I'm feeling that liquid color black would look really cool. So I don't know. It probably won't be able to make up my mind. I won't even buy it. So that's probably how it's going to go for me. David Bell, appreciate being a member for 13 months. How you doing, sir? Hope you men are doing great. Texas may be wild. Maybe he's thinking Christopher Bell's got something up his sleeves.
I think it's going to be crazy, folks.
Rowdy 8 Diecast, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Appreciate 999. My first Talladega experience was a success despite the bad racing product. Also going to Texas Motor Speedway this weekend for the first time. Eric, any tips on attending TMS? I'll give you a shout if we cross paths. Eric's definitely been there more than I have. I also had an experience there a couple years ago, put out a vlog. So if you get a chance to check that one out, see what I did too.
Yeah, no, definitely go check that out. I mean, it's changed a lot over the last few years. I mean, and my advice is like it's like the most normal track. Like get there early, parking is free. Check out what's out in the midway. I don't know if you have like an infield or garage pass, but I guess if you find yourself in the garage or in the infield, I think it's still there. It used to be a Torchy's Tacos, but they've changed it to a Roy Hutchins barbecue. Get yourself a Texas Twinkie. It's delicious. It's a North Texas.
Yeah, Hutchins is good. I had that when I was out there.
So if you're in the infield, stop by the Hutchins barbecue attached to the garage. If it's still, again, it's changed a couple times. It was a Torchy's, so I don't know what it is now.
Jeffrey King, Ford and O'Reilly is definitely the Hawaiian bird. I don't get that reference.
It's because I guess it's going extinct.
Andrew, appreciate $2. Jim France dying was not, in fact, the answer. Jeffrey King going on a run to being very generous. Appreciate that, Jeffrey. Could Jordan have secretly bought part of NASCAR? No.
I guess he could have secretly. It's not a public company, but probably not.
Talked to an older fan today. He dislikes this car. Yeah, well, a lot of younger fans still dislike this car. So, Philip, appreciate $5. Looking like a big rain shield over DFW Friday and Friday evening. Most likely a double header Saturday. Unless things change, cannot wait. Go 12.
Yep, very possible.
Jeffrey King says Disney after destroying Star Wars. NASCAR.
I'm just apathetic towards Star Wars anymore. I don't know what's going on, and I don't care to even find out again.
At least in this case, like ESPN Disney has no creative efforts with this. It's just the platform. That's all it really is.
Yeah.
Elijah, appreciate the $5. Fun fact: the Owl House creator Dana Terrace told her fans to pirate a show after Disney announced the stuff of AI.
I love that.
David Bell, appreciate you just giving $1.
Thanks, David.
Andy Carson, appreciate another $10 from you. Fox proved again why I'm not watching NASCAR until Pocono in June, since currently I'm not home to watch a race all summer except only 4, which are Pocono, North Wilkesboro, New Hampshire, and Daytona. Eric Andrade, appreciate the $5 from you. Eric, don't you think if Reddick is satisfied with his sponsorships in 2311 that paid him well rather than going to other teams like Spire and Hendrick?
Sure. What? Yeah.
I don't think your question quite flowed the way you were trying to.
No, obviously he's making good money at 2311 and he's winning races, so it's win-win. Makes sense for him to stay.
Gary Buki with very appropriate 10.77. So glad Hocevar won. We desperately needed talented drivers with awesome personalities to be successful in our sport. Fun fact, his film room episode is already the most watched so far.
Oh, that's good to hear. Yeah, I did see it was doing pretty well yesterday. Hocevar's a draw, man, especially on the internet. The young generation loves him.
He is definitely one that can draw in some people who need someone to root for. Napa Racing fan, appreciate the $2. CW streaming deal for ESPN Unlimited is a big L. Yep, L's in the chat for that one.
Yep.
Jonah Stuff, appreciate $10. I took my older cousin to the Saturday races for the first time, and he loved it so much that he watched Cup the next day for the first time since 2023. And picked Hocevar and Suarez as his favorites. All right, well, there you go. We've got Spire fan now.
Love it.
And what a time to pick Hocevar as your favorite.
Yeah.
Hunter Nixon, appreciate the $4.99. Harvick was my all-time favorite, but man, I gotta say, he bores the heck out of me in that booth. I can understand, man. I can understand.
Yeah, he offers some good insight here and there, but he speaks at the same.
Just
he
so much
doesn't have
better
the
as a
showman.
podcast guy.
Yeah, he just doesn't have the showman in him that like Darrell Waltrip or Larry Mack or the CW guys have.
Yeah.
It's disappointing because it feels like I feel like he was better early on, and like when he was doing part-time stuff with like O'Reilly and trucks, and it's just like he just stays at the same flat affect the entire time, and then unless he's poking a hole into Clint Boyer's resume.
Which he's cut back on, and maybe that's they've lost the spice. I don't know. Maybe they need to bring back the tension.
Blue Jimmy, at this rate, Mets may win less games than my soon-to-be age on Saturday, 26. Thanks in the V and chat for making every Wednesday the best gift of all. Good to see you, man.
Thanks for tuning in.
Santa Claus said wrong. One more guess or naughty list for Eric.
So I guess Rudolph, Jesus. All right, I'll go Mrs. Claus then. I think Jared, maybe he was right.
We'll find out, hopefully.
EW, appreciate that. But yes, we have seen stuff on the Greg Biffle robbery story. But just it's just sad all around what's been going on with that stuff. The man did not deserve everything that happened after his tragic passing. But right now, I don't think there's enough information on that for us to truly dive into that one too much.
Yeah, I read the one story, but we don't want to speculate, but it definitely sounds like just shady, ugly, opportunistic people.
Eric Andrade, what happened to the local series in Bowman Gray? Let's see. I know Peter Strada's kind of out of that area. He might know a little bit something about that. I'm not as familiar.
I'm unaware.
Alex, appreciate $10. Quick clarification. I talked my dad into going to North Carolina. I didn't realize it until after I bought those tickets. My dad's more a Germany fan than NASCAR. Ooh, well, I still hope he has fun.
Yeah, that's awkward. Hopefully this is going to sound messed up. Hopefully they get eliminated before them.
Yeah.
And the last one we have, unless Santa Claus comes racing back in here, and I think he probably might after Eric's guess. But for now, the last one up there he is. Calypso with the $1.99. Watch out, Santa. Winter bolt's coming for your job. And finally, to end the show, Santa Claus says, you're on the naughty list, Eric. It's Bernie.
Bernie who?
Who's Bernie? Bernie Sanders? Bernie Hill?
I am once again asking to be on the nice list.
That's
I am
literally
asking
the only
for your
Bernie I know,
support.
unless you're, I don't know any other Bernie.
I don't know.
Or do you mean Barney, the dinosaur?
Barney Visser? I don't know. Well, good deal.
Barney was
All
a
right.
dinosaur. He was on the nice list.
He said Sanders.
Oh, I wouldn't have guessed that.
I'm once again asking to have a redistribution of all of the presents.
No coal in my
Oh
stocking.
my goodness, y'all are on something. I'm getting tired. We need to be done with this for tonight. But I do appreciate everyone stopping by NWP tonight. It's been a fun one. We got beat on Random Driver by Jarrett tonight. No one knew who the heck he was talking about. These made up Cars characters he always brings to us. But no, it's been a fun one. Catch us next week. We're gonna be on Eric's channel. We're gonna break down what happened at his home track of Texas Motor Speedway this weekend, and we'll get you all squared up for Watkins Glen coming up after that. Weird saying Watkins Glen in the month of May, but yeah, that's where we're at, folks. We'll see you next time. Appreciate y'all stopping by.
Drivers, start your engines!
See plenty of carnage. Full head on them. Wound up. Yeehaw, boys. Holy. It's a junkyard. There's too much time hitting people. Chill a second. No gas, gotta hang top here. Don't overdrive. Just let me do my job. 10 times. I don't care if I wreck the whole field. I'm over him. He's just a moron. That was an absolute bullshit. Not clear. Awesome. I tell you, Mama ain't raising no. What the f*** are you doing out here? People are saying, just racing like idiots. I don't care. Just let me drive. What is he doing?
This is embarrassing. What a clown show. Did you ever think you would see that?